Beautiful.
Brother Kalam,
Yeah.
can I just say something real quickly, bro, on this topic that we're dealing with, yeah? Because I've just been looking at the comment section, yeah, and there's one guy called Rapid, yeah, he's actually on my neck, yeah. So the reason why I wanted to ask the Muslim about where Allah resides is because I would ask the same question to the Christians, and I'm sure Pentecostal, is he still there? Yeah, is Pentecostal still there? Yeah, I think he's there. Aaron is there, isn't it? Yeah, I think I will ask the question. So I'll ask the question. So this is for the Muslim, the Christian. Where in your text does God reside? Yeah, just to pull it fair, because Rapid is on my back. So yeah, so that's a question to all of you. So Pentecostal, you can answer. Any of the Muslims, any Jew, any Christian. Where does your God reside? That's all.
All right. So we've actually got a Muslim with us right now by the name of Umair. Umair, please unmute your mic and jump in.
Hello?
Still on.
Yeah, how you doing, guys? I've been watching Speaker Corner for the past, 6 months? It's interesting, yeah. I'm a Muslim brother here. How's everybody doing?
So we're waiting to hear some.
Love, man.
So the question was about where does God reside?
Yes.
I'm not like a scholar or anything, but I do follow the religion of Islam. I'm studying it myself for the past 1 year, and I think it's the most beautiful and logical religion to follow, because it basically tells you to believe in one God, and I think that's the most rational question. But for God to reside, I think He resides in the heavens, with no time and space. But there's no real answer to that. You know, where does God reside? I think He resides in the heavens.
Oh, you think? You don't know?
Yeah, He can be anywhere. He can. I don't know if he's. I don't think he can be in the universe. He can be in this earth, but I think He resides in the heavens.
Okay, He resides. You think He can be on the earth, but you also think He resides.
No, I don't think He can be on the earth. I don't think He can be on the earth. I think if he was going to be on the earth, why would He send messengers here? See what I'm saying? You got to be logical. Why would He send His messengers to preach the message of oneness of God? I mean, He can come here. He can come here if He wanted to, but I really think He resides in the heavens.
Okay, so the question I'm going to ask you then is this: do you have any quotes from your Qurans to substantiate that He is in the heavens? That's all.
Quotes from the Quran, because I'm just studying the Quran. It's been I'm only on the 4th or 5th verse. If I do find anything, I will let you know, because I just started my studies in the Quran.
All right, no problem.
But he's like the scholars have mentioned, he's in the heavens. And why is that so complex? Why is that a question anyways?
So you're saying He's in the heavens?
I think that's what I believe. He's in the heavens.
Is He sublunary? Is He in this galaxy? Is He in the universe? Is He in the solar system? Which heaven is He in?
There's some things unknown in religion, so this is one of the unknown questions, because He has created. Do you know? Like, can I ask you if you know other universes? Because scientists are discovering other universes, and we haven't been there. So, if you look at the star, have you been to the stars? Do you really know what's on the star? No. So this is a question. There's some unknown questions that God knows, and if you do go to the day of judgment, you can ask Him that, and He will surely answer you. But I think a belief is without evidence, but you have to have a reason to believe something.
Okay, so we'll have to wait till.
I'm in the USA. I'm actually in the USA. I've been listening to Speaker Corner for past 7 months, and I mostly know all of you guys by face.
Great, great. So,
Yeah.
I guess we'll have to wait till we die to get the answers to some of these questions. Let me just invite Arsenal in real quickly. Arsenal, how you doing, King? Arsenal, are you there? Maybe not. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to actually ask a few guys to drop out because we've got full capacity yet again. And we definitely need some other new faces to come on to speak. So if I can get you guys to drop out, okay, please. Brother Ayan as well. Let me just get you to drop out momentarily. You can always come back in again. It's better than
Can I say something quick before I go?
Nobody can come back in again.
Okay. I have a verse in John chapter 4, verse 24. It says, God is a spirit, and they that worship him must worship him in spirit and in truth. And other thing I call God, I say that God is life. And if you want to say where God resides, just look all around us. Everything have life into it. So life is God. So we cannot put God in a box and say where God resides. No, all the universe belongs to him. All the universe, where we look around, there's life. So to make it simple, God is life. Man have life. The tree have life. What again? In the earth have life. Without life, nothing exists. So God is life. So we breathe God. We breathe in God. God is in us. So that's why we human beings that was shaped in the image of God, we have to worship him in spirit, not just with what we see, but with our inner man. That's what I have to say.
Beautiful, beautiful, my brother. Thank you very much.
See you next time, man.
Thank you. All right, so we're trying to get some space in. Let's just see. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So there's 2 free spaces, family. There's 2 free spaces. If you would like to come in, I'm going to drop the link in yet again. Okay, drop the link in yet again. So if you want to jump in, please come in and talk to the family. So, Abs, you were speaking earlier. Continue with what you were saying.
No, bro. I just wanted to go back into what that brother was saying. The brother that was just talking from America. He just said, yeah. One of the things he said is, what's the reason why? Why do we need to know? And some things are unknown and all this stuff there. But I don't know what the Quran says. But I know from biblical teachers, I'm sure that the whole purpose of is so that the moment or the day that we die and pass is to be with the Lord and Savior, which is God. Yeah, I'm sure that's the end goal. The end goal is to actually be with God. So if we don't know where God resides, yeah, where is this place that you're supposed to be with God? I'm sure he will put this in his message. Wouldn't he put this in his message where he resides? Do you see what I'm saying? All this stuff from nothing. I'm sure he would have put in the place where he resides and the place that you're gonna go once you return to him. So this is the reason why I wanted to ask the question. That's one of the reasons why I asked the question. And then obviously I was waiting for a Muslim brother to mention the whole thing to do with Allah sits upon his throne. But I'm gonna wait to see if that mentioned.
Inshallah, it may just get mentioned. So far, we have 2 Muslim brothers on the panel with us. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And we've got one more free room remaining. There's one more room remaining. For real, where's Ahmed at? Let me actually just message Ahmed. This will be this will be interesting if we get Ahmed on as well. So let me just get Ahmed on. Give me 1 second. Where is he?
Hey, Kalam, I muted my mic for a while. Can I touch on that point of Allah, where he's at, and stuff like that? Huh? Do you mind?
Go for it.
Yeah, basically, there's 2 hadiths, yeah, that one hadith says that Allah, he comes to the first heaven, yeah, and he sees something, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, like who's supplicating to him. So that's one proof that Allah enters his creation if he comes all to the first heaven. I think it's every day according to the hadith. And also there's another concept in Islam, the judgment day concept, yeah, which no Muslim can deny. according to the Muslims, yeah, you know, they read this verse. There's a verse in the Quran called Ayatul Kursi, very popular verse. Muslims read it, I believe, on Fridays or something. They believe it's like good to read it on Fridays, if I'm not mistaken. And Ayatul Kursi is basically literally the chair of Allah. I know Muslims like to say throne, but the word kursi in Arabic literally means chair. So Allah supposedly has a chair that will be carried by like 6,000 angels, all right? And he'll come down to earth on Judgment Day. And on that Judgment Day, already some people are dead, they're in the grave, and some people are already alive because he's coming to earth. And they'll be running around like madmen, right? And he's gonna come and he's basically gonna judge, and then the angels are gonna blow a trumpet, and you know, like 2 or 3 times, and people are gonna die or whatever. So that's another proof that if these Muslims say Allah supposedly outside of space and time, those are 2 authentic sources that he comes in his creation. So when Muslims on one hand say, oh, how can God come in the creation, as hypocrites, but then it's in their books, I just sit there and laugh and say, you know, these guys, they're obviously deceiving on purpose, or they're ignorant of what their books say. So that's what I like to say. Yeah.
Now we've got the Somali Maverick with us. Hey, yo, Somali Maverick. Ahmed, what you saying, King?
Callum, you've gone enough low, bro.
Is it? I've gone low. How about now?
Yeah, that's better, man.
All right. Somali Maverick, are you there? Can you hear me? Okay, maybe.
Hello. What's up, panel?
Good. Have you been watching so far? Or did you drop out?
No, I'm here.
All right.
Can you not hear me, yeah?
So far the question is, yeah, where is Allah?
Allah, can I answer that? Okay, now?
Who's that? No. Umair, just wait for a hot second. It's Ahmed's turn. Go
Okay.
ahead, King.
Is that how we're going to do this? Y'all going to get at me straight away, yeah? All right,
Yeah,
cool.
G.
No wasting time. All right, cool. That question basically don't apply to Allah. Allah is not in time and space.
Okay. And could you utilize a verse in the Quran that says Allah is not in time and space?
Well, the very fact that he's the cause of it all pretty much utilizes that.
Show us a source, my friend. You're giving us rhetoric. Aren't you, Mr. Substantiate your claims? Substantiate your claims. Aren't you the guy who keeps saying that?
Say he is one, the absolute. The very fact
that has nothing to do with where is Allah located, my friend. Come on.
Absolute.
Can you show us a source? Can you show us a source?
I just said
absolute what?
Does.
Absolute what?
In every sense.
Okay, Ahmed, yeah. I know you don't know too much about your religion.
Okay. Hold on. Max, keep your mic muted, please.
Thank you.
Let's let him talk. Go ahead.
Allah is simply the creator of everything. He's also the creator of time and space. And the question of where applies to a time and space. So it doesn't apply to him.
It doesn't apply to him. And why is that?
Because according to the dictionary, where is something that is located in time and space. And Allah is not located inside time and space.
Interesting. According to the hadith in Sahih Bukhari 1145 and Sahih Muslim 1261, narrated from Abu Huraira, it says that the Prophet said that the Lord, Allah, your Rabb, descends every night to the lower when 1/3 remains and says, who will call upon me that I may answer him? Who will ask of me that I may give him? Who will seek my forgiveness that I may forgive him? So it seems as though Allah actually leaves his throne and actually comes down into our space and time to the lowest heavens to actually ask of humanity what they want of him. So how do you consolidate that then?
Kalam, didn't I just reference that 5 minutes ago? But thank you for bringing it up.
That's why I'm putting it up for you so the audience can see.
Yeah, thank you very much. See that? No lies, all facts.
Allah,
go ahead.
It's not physical. As you are aware, Allah has 99 attributes. His attributes simply he increases one over the other at a particular time. His mercy increases. In other words.
But
Uh-huh.
Ahmed, again, you just come with rhetoric, man. Can you prove us? Can you show us any source? Because that's one source
what
that Allah.
that's
Hold on, brother.
that's what that literally means.
Okay, but that's one source, yeah. That Allah is a physical being that moves from one location to another. We just showed you.
Where does it say that he's a physical being?
Okay, let me show you on my screen here. Hold up. Let me
No,
do
just say it. Read it out. Where does it say that he's a physical
Okay, I have a
being?
hadith here, yeah, narrated by Abu Hurairah, yeah. It says, let me scroll down. It says that Allah will come in a shape to the believers, yeah, a shape that they do not know, and the believers, which is the Muslims, will say, yeah, A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. They'll think that your God Allah is the devil because he's coming to a shape they don't know. Then Allah will come to them in the shape that they do know, and they'll say, verily, this is our Lord. So
where did you get this from?
this is a hadith.
Read what
Whoa, bro, you don't know anything about your religion.
Tell me the hadith. Tell me the hadith.
Okay.
Tell me the verse.
Okay.
Tell me where I can get this hadith from.
Okay. Hold on. I'll pull it up. You're a baby Muslim, man. You're 30 years old. You don't know about your religion. Come on, man.
Literally goes against everything
Come on.
Islam is about.
This is Sahih. Yeah, one second. Yeah, let me actually dig it up. One of you guys can speak. Let me pull it up. Kalam, you can speak now.
Some people are getting the medicine.
That was a ridiculously wild claim.
Boy, I ain't gonna say nothing. I'm gonna mute.
That was an unbelievable claim.
So I'm going to ask you, Ahmed. So does Allah descend into the lowest heavens at night?
No. Allah, as
So
you're aware, like
what
I
does that
said,
mean?
he has 99 attributes. It simply means he utilizes one of his attributes more at a particular time.
And what attribute is that?
In this particular scenario, it would be mercy.
It will be mercy. And
Yes.
and where did you get this exegesis on this verse from?
Read it again.
So it says here, I'll repeat. This is Sahih Bukhari and Sahih Muslim 1145 for Bukhari and 1261 from Abu Bakr from Muslim.
Yeah, that
From
might be correct. Hello?
Mute the guy's
Yeah,
mic.
yes.
Yeah, that might be that
And
could be correct, but do you know where the lowest heaven is? Have you been there?
And it says here, the Lord, from Abu Hurairah, that the Prophet said, the Lord descends every night to the lowest heaven when 1/3 of the night remains and says, who will call upon me? Answer him. Who will ask of me that I may give him? Who will seek my
There you
forgiveness
go.
that I may forgive
Yeah,
him?
yeah,
Hence why I say mercy.
Let me
yeah,
just,
but
let me continue.
hello?
Can you keep your mics muted? Otherwise, I will eject you. It says here, this hadith was narrated from the Prophet. Approximately 28 of the Sahaba and the Ahlul al-Sunnah are unanimously agreed that it is to be accepted. Just in case anybody wanted to say, no, we do not accept this. According to Ahlul al-Sunnah, it is unanimously accepted. And it also says here, what is meant by the descent of Allah may be the lowest heavens. It should be noted that the descent of the Lord, may he be exalted to the lowest heaven, is one of the actions that are attributed to him and has to do with his will and wisdom. It is descending in a real sense, in a manner that befits his majesty and might. Allah descends however he wills, whenever he wills. Glory be to him. There is nothing like unto him, and he is the all-hearing, all-seeing. It is not permissible to distort the meaning of this hadith by saying that what is meant is that his command or mercy descends, or that one of his angels descends. This is false for several reasons. So before you even start to tell me that it's his mercy that descends, according to Ahlul Sunnah, it is a false interpretation to say that it's his mercy that actually, before you start.
Who's Ahlul Sunnah? Who's Ahlul Sunnah?
That is
the Sunni
the
website,
consensus
man.
of the Ijma.
Which Ijma?
Those who are on the Sunni path. That's who it is.
Interesting. Do they mention anything about a physical being?
That sounds like checkmate still.
Descendant.
Does it mention anything about
Did they mention anything about him physically descending?
It doesn't say anything about physicality at this moment in time. So
Okay.
I'm going to ask you: is it His mercy, or is it Him that's actually descending?
The only thing we have from Allah is His attributes. So therefore, I can only say that His attributes are descending.
Okay. So let's go on and actually read
I can only go
what
by what we
your
know
scholars
about
are actually saying in regards to this when somebody actually says this. Okay, so again, let me just reread it. It says here that this hadith was narrated by such and such, and it says here, what is meant by the descent to the lowest heaven? It should be noted that the descent of the Lord, may He be exalted. Let me actually skip to this. It is not permissible to distort the meaning of the hadith by saying of that what is meant is that His command or mercy.
Did the Prophet say that, or is that a particular opinion?
Let me continue,
Okay.
family. Or His mercy descends, or that one of His angels descends. This is false for several reasons, and here are the reasons. Okay, number one, the misinterpretation goes against the apparent meaning of the hadith. The Prophet attributed descent or the act of descending to Allah, and the basic principle is that a thing is attributed to the one who does it. So if it is attributed to someone else, that is a distortion. That goes against this. We know that the messenger is the most knowledgeable of all people about Allah, and that He is the most eloquent of mankind and the most truthful in what He says. There are no lies in His speech, and it is impossible for Him to attribute something that is not one of His names or attributes or actions or rulings, Allah says. And it continues here. And if He had forged a false saying concerning us, we surely would have seized Him by His right hand, and then we certainly would have cut off His life artery. Anyway, let me go there. But all right, and it goes on. And moreover,
I'm sure you understand you're reading our opinions, though.
Hold on, let me just finish.
As long as you understand that you're reading opinions.
No problem. Moreover, the only intention of the Prophet.
Ahmed, this is a scholarly source. You gave us opinions, man. Go ahead, Kalam.
Let's keep on reading.
Moreover, doesn't make it a non-opinion.
Our Lord descends, and someone else says something that runs contrary to the apparent meaning of these words, such as saying that His command descends. Then we say, do you have more knowledge about Allah than the messenger of Allah? The messenger said, our Lord descends. But you say His command descends? Are you? No. Next person who interrupts me, I shall be ejecting. Okay? Remember, I told you this. So don't complain after I eject you. Anyways, let me continue. Our Lord descends, but you say His command descends? Or are you more sincere towards the Ummah than He was, since He concealed what He was supposed to tell them and told them something different?
All right, what do we know of our Lord?
Let me continue, brother. Let me continue. Okay. I just had to mute somebody's mic. Keep all your mics muted, please. Undoubtedly, the people who tells the people one thing but means something else is not sincere towards them. Or do you think that you are more eloquent than the messenger of Allah? Undoubtedly, such a misinterpretation implies that one is accusing the messenger of some kind of shortcoming that a Muslim can never accept on the part of the messenger. Then there's the second one here. The second one is this. Let me just make sure. Okay, unfortunately, he didn't know the rule of keeping your mic muted. So sorry, Umair, you are ejected. Won't be able to come back in again. Don't listen. Oh yeah, why don't you want to listen? I don't understand. Simple commands, you know. Anyways, the descent of His command is not restricted to this part of the night. Rather, His command and mercy descends all the time. If it is said that what is meant is a specific command or specific mercy, which does not happen all the time, the answer to that is that if we assume that this interpretation is incorrect, then the hadith indicates that where the descent of this thing ends is in the lowest heavens. So what benefit can it be to us if mercy descends to the lowest heaven without reaching us? Why would the Prophet even tell us about it? The hadith, third one now, the hadith indicates that one who descends says, who will call upon me that I may answer him? Who will ask of me that I may give him? Who will seek my forgiveness that I may forgive him? No one can say that except Allah. May He be exalted. And this is from the Majmu Fatwa Rasil al-Sheikh Muhammad ibn Salih al-Uthmayim.
All right, may I give it a go now?
203-210.
Check,
Now you can
man.
go, my brother. Oh man, we
Right,
live, baby. We
Titan.
live.
All right, Titan. First and foremost. All right, let's
hear
just
it.
be
Let's hear what you got to say.
let's just be logical right now. First and foremost, I have not claimed command. Secondly, nor have I claimed his angels. Let's just get that out the way. Thirdly, when you say that the Prophet ﷺ said, "Our Lord descended," let's get another thing straight, which you are trying to allude to. Neither have they claimed that he physically descended. So their opinion might have been different to mine in terms of his mercy descended or increased at that particular moment. However, it doesn't allude to what you are trying to allude to, physically descended. Let's get that out of the way.
Ahmed, what would you?
Let's get that out of the way.
Did he? Hold on a minute, Kalam. Did he not just listen to what you just read, bro? You just read what they said about the whole mercy thing, and now you're bringing back mercy again.
I just said to you, Gabs, you're not listening to me. I just said to you, I understand that they disagree with me in terms of that particular opinion, and
okay,
they
so
say
Ahmed, they disagree with you. What do you think came? What descended then? So if it wasn't your mercy,
which is what I'm getting. I'm just saying, let's just understand our position. They didn't, just because they said that does not mean that they claimed what you are claiming.
That's fine. Okay, so what? That's fine. That's fine.
Now we understood that. All right, cool. Saying to you is that our Lord, Allah, I'm asking you, Kalam, right now, and I want you to be genuine and honest. What is the information we have of Allah as Muslims? Do we have any other information of Allah other than his 99 attributes and what he says in Al-Ikhlas? Do we have anything else? Over to you.
That's not the question. What came down, Ahmed? What do you think descended? Don't say about.
I just asked you a question. Why will you not? I want Kalam to answer that question, Gabs.
Let me hear what you're saying. So, brother, okay, you want to abscond from the question and ask me a question. And what is the purpose of the question? What are you trying to get out? Are you there? Can you hear me?
Exactly. What's the purpose? I don't understand the purpose of the question.
I can hear you now. I can hear you. So repeat that. Repeat that, Kalam.
Okay. Well, I can hear silence. We've got a few new individuals that have joined us. I just want to make sure that they actually are Muslims. So, brother Umar.
Kalam, he told you to repeat that. He didn't hear you. Ahmed said, repeat what you said. You only said, what's the purpose of the question?
So, yeah, what is the point of your question? I'm trying to understand.
The question I'm asking you, Kalam, if you would kindly please answer me, is that as Muslims, when you say, for example, on the hadith, our Prophet said, our Lord descended. I'm asking you, do we have any other information about Allah other than the 99 attributes that he's provided, that we have of him, and what we have of him in Al-Ikhlas, as in he is one, absolute, eternal, begets not, nor is he begotten, and there's nothing like unto him. Do we have any other information other than that?
What's that got to do with the question that we were talking about?
Kindly answer my question, then I will answer yours.
Kalam, did you hear him? Yeah.
Yes, you have a whole list of other stuff spoken about Allah in the Quran that gives you more information about who and what Allah is.
Please tell me more. Tell me one.
So one, for example, is that he apparently rules over his throne, and that's not part of his attributes. I know that is that in Surah Al-Ikhlas, rather it's in Ayat al-Kursi.
See, I take that to be metaphorical. He is above his throne, as in there's literally nothing above him, because usually throne is above a king. It's on his head. Allah is above that,
So
as in he's above everything.
Before we go
into all of that, hold on, Gabs. Before we go into all of that, I answered your question, so I don't want to get sidetracked elsewhere. So what was your purpose of your actual question?
The purpose of my question was to basically tell you we have no information of Allah that would allude to him being a physical entity that moves around. So I cannot claim that.
Okay, number one, I wouldn't claim that Allah is physical, although he has hands and face and fingers and shin and other bodily parts that is made mention of. Far be it for me to say he is a physical being. He does take a physical form because your Lord is definitely not one-eyed, etc., etc. So we know about that, but I wouldn't say he is physical, because I think the Quran doesn't speak of him being physical. Although he does give a lot of anthropological. No, what's the word? What's the word? What's the word again? What's the word when you actually attributed human features to another thing? So, anyways, it attributes a lot of human features to Allah, but I wouldn't say that he is a physical being. Although he hovers above a throne or sits on a throne, although he speaks, although
He sits not on
stands and
nothing, by the
these
way.
other things.
Let's just get that out of the way.
Well, you know, I have to wonder what's the point of having a throne if you ain't gonna sit on it. It's like, unless the throne is dirty, I can understand. You know, when you go to public toilets and you don't have any more tissues to lay down and you want to do something, and as a woman you have to just hover over the throne. You have to just hover over it. So maybe, you know.
But yo, Kalam, I have my source now. Remember I said 10 minutes ago I'll bring the source. Can I bring it now? Can I bring the source now?
Brother, I just want to
hold on. You can get the source in later.
I wanted to know, yeah, because I asked Ahmed. Okay, we clarified that it wasn't his mercy that came. What does Ahmed?
No, we
does
haven't
Ahmed
clarified that.
Okay, so Ahmed, what do you think descended down? What came? What came down?
Like I said, the only information that we have of Allah is his 99 attributes and what he's told us in Surah Al-Ikhlas. Now, based on that, considering what he's speaking about in that verse, in terms of who will ask of me, who will I forgive, etc., etc., those things indicate mercy. Now, is mercy an attribute of Allah, an information that we have of Allah? Yes. So based on that, that is the connection that I make.
So basically, you don't know what came down. Basically, you don't know what descended down.
You could say that.
Okay. So I've got to ask another question as well. So whatever form Allah is in, whether it's physical or spiritual, you know, is He's whatever form it is it is there anything that's bigger than His form?
There's no. He's immeasurable. He's infinite.
In order to move from one place to another place, I would have to suppose that you know, this space he's moving in between is obviously bigger than him.
Like I said, I have no idea. I have no idea what that entail.
Sorry.
So I like I said, I have no idea what that is supposed to entail. So I don't claim anything on that.
So you don't know if there's any other spaces or places bigger than Allah?
No. I'm saying I don't know what that hadith is referring to other than what I've already answered.
Okay. So, because I have to utilize some type of philosophy now, because we know about, you know, objects, we know about space and all these different types of things here. And when you're talking about verbs, which is moving, you know, you're moving from one space into another space, and that is to do with time as well. A relationship between one space to another space is development of time. You're moving, you know, it's a time process. So I wanted to know, do you know how long it takes for Allah to move from one space to another space? And does He travel the whole world at that time? Because obviously, you know, when the sun rises in the morning, it rises in the east and it goes from country to country. So is He jumping from one country to another country? You know what, skip that, forget that. You know what, sorry, at times my mind just kind of wanders off. So let me just stop right there, because I'll go off on a tangent. So I apologize for a hot second. Brother, who is it? Brother Dark, did you have something to say?
Yes, finally. Thank you. Yeah, are you the only one who can do a screen share?
Yes, hold on, Max. Sorry, 1 second. I'm gonna ask Brother Joe. Wait, real quickly. Joe, can you unmute your mic quickly? I'm gonna give you 5 seconds to unmute your mic, and I'm gonna have to eject you. 5, 4.
Hey, Callum.
What's good, family? What's good?
Hey, how are you?
I'm well. Did you have anything to say? Did you have anything to say? Okay. If you don't, I'm going to ask you, so you can always come back in again, to just kind of jump out real quickly, because I've got another Muslim brother that wants to come on. He's very knowledgeable and actually wants to have a say on this particular topic. So if I can get you just to jump out, because if I eject you, you're never going to get back into the chat. Now, I really want you to get back into the chat. I'm waiting. Yep. Waiting. Doc, can I let you in? Joe. Okay, I'm going to have to eject you. I
What was that?
apologize, Joe. Joe, I'm going to have to eject you, okay? I really like you just to voluntarily just jump out real quickly whilst the other brother jumps in. But if you can't do that, I'm going to have to eject you. And that means you can't get back into this particular one. So I'll give you 5 seconds to, choose. 5.
Was that me?
Joe. That's the Joe.
All right, sorry.
5, 4, 3, 2. Apologies, Joe. I really want you to come back in and actually say your piece. All right. What's going on here? Cool. So, yeah, talk away, King. Talk away.
All right, yeah. Are you the only one who can do screen share, or can we do it as well?
Yeah, you can do it as well.
Okay, I'm clicking the button. It's not working. But you know what? I posted the link in that chat. Can you open that link, please? So we can all see it from your screen. The chat on the side. Sunnah.com.
That's all
You see
mythical,
it?
King. It's all looking a bit mythical right about now. It's all looking a bit mythical.
Well, what's mythical?
Let's see if I
what do you
can
mean?
do it. Accessing what you're asking me to access.
Yeah, I posted it again. See this?
Assalamu alaikum.
Is that to everybody or is that to the Muslims?
Okay. Is that Abu Ismail or is
Yes.
that it is Abu Ismail? Okay. 1 second, Abu Ismail. I'm gonna get you in just after Max does his thing. So go ahead, Doc.
All right.
I don't have. Oh, there it is. I see it.
Yeah, you see it, yeah.
All right, let me actually share my screen.
Yeah, just if you could read, or you want me to read it? I'll read it, huh?
So it says here.
Okay.
Some people. This is it here, yeah. All right.
Yeah,
some
that's it, yeah.
people said. Some people said, "Oh Allah's Messenger, shall we see our Lord in the day of resurrection?" He said, "Do you crowd and squeeze each other on looking at the sun when it is not hidden by clouds?" They replied, "No, Allah's Messenger." He said, "Do you crowd and squeeze each other on looking at the moon when it is full and not hidden by clouds?" They replied, "No, Allah's Messenger." He said, "So you will see him. You will see him on the day of resurrection. Just Allah will gather all the people and say, whoever used to worship anything should follow that thing. So he who used to worship the sun will follow it, and he who used to worship the moon will follow it, and he who used to worship false idols will follow them. And then only this nation, the Muslims, will remain, including their hypocrites. Allah will come to them in a shape other than they know, and will say, "I am your Lord." They will say, "We seek refuge with Allah from you." This is
just
pause
for a second. You see how it says Allah will come in a shape? This is what I was proving to Ahmed earlier, right? But yeah, continue. So this is a physical shape, obviously, but yeah, continue.
Okay, till our Lord comes to us, and when our Lord comes to us, we will recognize him. Then Allah will come to them in a shape they will know, and will say, "I am your Lord." They will say, "You are our Lord," and they will follow him. Then a bridge will be laid over the hellfire. Allah's Messenger added, "I will be the first to cross it, and the invocation of the apostles on the day will be Allahumma Salim Salim." And over that bridge will be hooked the thorns of As-Sadan. Did not you see the thorns of As-Sadan? The companion said, "Yes, O Allah's Messenger." He said to the blah, 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 blah. Are we finished? Or is there more?
Yeah, so so basically, as y'all on YouTube can see it, and everyone on the panel, is it says, number one, Allah will come to them in a shape. And the first shape, the Muslims will not recognize this shape. So that means that there was a shape that they recognize. And Muslims believe that before creation, everybody testified to Allah in heaven, all humanity, and they saw him physically. So this means that this shape he comes to them initially, they don't recognize, and they'll think it's demonic, and they'll say a phrase in Arabic which means "A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajeem," which means I seek refuge from you. So they'll think their own God, Allah, when he comes to them in the initial shape, is actually demonic, which is very funny and hilarious. Then he will come to them in a shape they recognize. So clearly, this is proof. There's a Muslim website, Muslim source. This hadith is transmitted many times, Sahih hadith, that Allah is a physical being. He does have a physical shape, and Muslims will see him physically when he comes to earth on the Day of Judgment. That's the point I want to bring out.
I would like to beg to differ. Actually, well, I'll most probably agree with you, but I want to beg to differ, and I would say he is like an X-Men. A lot of times. What's the blue one called again? What's the blue one? The woman? Is it Mystique?
Mystique. Yeah, when it transforms.
Mystique.
Yeah.
You know, he's a bit like Mystique. He can come to you in one form. He can deceive you for a hot second, but then he can also, you know, morph into another form and show you who he truly is. Slight jokes. I'm cracking a little bit of jokes. You know, sometimes they got to make it lighthearted. Let's not get bogged down too much. No disrespect intended. Let's keep it flowing. Brother Ibrahim, you're here.
Yes.
Salam, King. Talk to me. I know you wanted to have input. Let us know. You definitely said you wanted to speak upon this particular hadith, talking about, let me just get your words correctly, about where is Allah.
Yeah.
We're actually going to rehash that I initially asked Brother Hamza Mayat, and I'm going to ask you the question. Where is Allah?
Okay. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Wassalatu wassalamu ala ashrafil anbiya wal mursaleen wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. Just to clarify something here, before I joined, Kalam said I'm a very knowledgeable brother. That's not the case. I'm not a knowledgeable guy. I'm just a normal guy, yeah. And basically what it is, I saw Kalam's video today, and I was agreeing with a few things that he said, and I also disagreed with a few things that he said. But yeah, his question was, where is Allah? Okay. So if we open up the Quran and we go to Surah Taha, and we go to the verse number 5, which is chapter 20, verse number 5, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in the Quran, عَلَى الْأَرْشِ اسْتَوَى, which loosely translates to the most merciful rose over the throne. Okay? Can you guys hear me? Is it okay? I'm going to assume you can hear me, yeah?
Yeah, we can hear you. Yeah, continue.
Okay, and obviously amongst the Muslims there's a big debate about this, whether Allah is actually above his throne, or Allah is everywhere, or Allah is non-existent, like within like our realm, or what we can imagine. And inshallah ta'ala, I'm just gonna mention some statements from our Salaf, who are our pious predecessors, and so you guys get a better understanding, because obviously their understanding is where we take from, inshallah. So okay, so obviously one of the most famous imams of the Salaf, Imam Ahmed bin Hanbal, who died 241 after the Hijrah, he said, these hadiths should be left as they are. We affirm them, and we do not make any similitude for them. This is what has been agreed upon by the scholars. And then Imam Nu'aym bin Hamad, he said, whoever makes tashbih, meaning whoever makes resemblance of Allah to his creation, has committed kufr. Okay? And whoever denies what Allah has described for himself has also committed kufr. So whoever likens Allah to the creation, they've committed disbelief. And whoever denies and rejects what Allah has affirmed for himself, he has committed disbelief also. Indeed, Allah indeed all that Allah has described himself with, or what his messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam has described himself with, then there is no similitude in it at all. So the way that we look at this is, when we say that Allah is above his throne, we affirm this, but we don't liken him to the creation. So what Imam Malik rahimahullah said, who was from the four Imams as well, he said that the istiwa, how Allah rose over the throne, we affirm this. But how he is above the throne, we don't know. So we don't say that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is actually sitting above the throne or leaning on his throne, or whatever other examples you can give above the throne. We don't say that. We say that Allah is above the throne in his own majestic way, in a manner which befits his majesty. And that's exactly the same thing for the hands, for the face, for the shin, for the fingers, and so on and so forth. All these attributes, as Muslims, we have to affirm them, because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala spoke about them in the Quran, and the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he spoke about them in the hadith. Now, do we now say that Allah has a hand like ours? No. Do we say Allah has fingers like ours? No. Likewise,
Who is we when you say we? There are Muslims that believe that Allah has a physical hand. So, there's many sects of Islam, there's many different creeds,
Can you name me the sect that believes Allah has a physical hand, please?
Yes, when you look at Salafis, for example, they believe, they listen, they take everything literal. They don't do, what do they call it? Ta'rif and all that stuff, right?
I'm sorry, but Kalam will tell you now, I am a Salafi, and what I'm giving you now is a Salafi explanation, yeah?
Bro, I can go to your websites and I can see you're clearly lying, because Allah is a physical being. He doesn't have a shape. He doesn't have a hand. He doesn't have a... They don't say it's metaphorical. They don't say... You're doing taqiyya now. They don't say it's
literally
metaphorical. Yeah, they say it's literal. Now, some sects do not believe it, but either way, yeah, you're giving us da'wah. Are you there, Ibrahim?
Kalam, listen, is he allowed to interrupt like that?
I don't know what Kalam is, but you're giving us speeches. Can you just give us an answer and that's it?
Sorry about that. Brother Doc, my brother is correct. He's correct. We do have rules on here that you shouldn't be interrupting our titans. So go ahead, King. Until he finishes, please nobody interrupt him, and continue, Ibrahim. You got the floor.
Okay. Unfortunately, the brother accused me of taqiyya. No one's got a gun to my head, and no one's trying to kill me. So I don't know what kind of taqiyya you're talking about. I'm not a Shia either, so I don't, we don't believe in this taqiyya as part of Iman. And also, yes, he mentioned that apparently Salafis believe Allah has an actual hand. Let me tell you something right now, yeah? This is an outright lie. Likewise, people say that Salafis support terrorism and so on and so forth. Before you actually mention something, if you're from England, I would advise you to come to our mosques and speak to our students of knowledge. And the guy said that apparently Salafis believe Allah actually has a hand. Okay, I'm gonna bring you some statements from the Salafi scholars to disprove that now, inshallah ta'ala. Kind of like caught me off guard, so I'm just gonna have to quickly find it. Give me a second.
Whilst you're doing that, I'm just gonna actually ask some questions out there as well.
That's fine.
He spoke about hands. Have feet? Does he have? I've read at certain places that Allah has 2 feet that actually rest upon his footstool or his kusri. Is that true as well?
I don't know about that. I mean, I can tell you that he has a shin, he has a face. Allah has hands, fingers in his own majestic way. But in regards to what you said about the feet upon the kursi, Allah Alam, I don't know. I'm actually trying to find the statements of Sheikh Salih Al-Fawzan, who is one of the biggest Salafi scholars out there today.
Hold on, Kalam. Did the brother say that he does have a face? He has a face and fingers.
Yes.
He does. Hold on. You just said that so calmly. Wait. Allah has a face, fingers, and feet.
Yeah.
He has face, he has fingers, he has hands.
Wow.
And
yeah, but if you were listening to what I was
He has a
saying,
shin. He has a shin. So that's what is he doing? What does Allah do in striptease? Like that doesn't make any sense.
Okay. Brother, let me just let's just be a little bit, respectful for a hot second. Because it is a new brother and he may not know us like that, how we like to, have little jousting matches with each other. So let's be respectful as possible. Gabs, you was making a statement. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm this is new. This is new. This is some new medicine, I'm not even gonna lie. This is the first time that I've heard a Muslim say that Allah has a face, hands, feet, and a shin. Because a lot of time, especially Kalam, when we're down at Speaker's Corner, a lot of the Muslims say to us, anything that you can imagine Allah is, it's not that. Now I can imagine a face, I can imagine shins, and I can imagine fingers and feet. So I'm trying to understand now how Allah has these things that I can imagine. I don't know, it's mad. And then he must, and then if that's the case, if he has hands, shins, and feet, boy, the place that he resides, all I can imagine is he must be in a space. He must be in a place where he can move and do things. Because what would be the purpose of his feet and his hands and his face? What would be the purpose of that? Who's looking upon his face? What's his hands for? And what's his feet for? Do you see what I'm saying? These are the next questions that start flowing into your mind. I don't want people to start throwing out only he knows and only we don't know it. Bro, come on, let's use our logics. If you say that God has hands, feet, and a face, the next question is, what does his face look like? That's automatically gonna pop into your mind. What does his face look like? Why does he have a face? Does he have lips? He has a mouth. Does he eat then? He has feet. Okay, what's he doing with his feet? Is he running? Is he swimming? Does he know how to play football? Loads of different things happen. He has hands. What's he making? Does he have a watch? Do you see what I'm saying? All these things start coming into your mind. Just the moment you start saying that this Allah has hands, feet, and I'm just shocked. I'm not even gonna lie. This is the first time I've heard this. So that was some good medicine right there. Thank you, brother. What's his name? What's the brother's name?
My name is Abu Ismail.
Abu Ismail. Listen, you've given me some fresh medicine, boy. I'm telling you. That's what I gotta say.
Can I come back in? Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Go ahead.
Was Gabs here when I was reading from Imam Ahmed stuff and that?
What was that about? I can't.
So
what was that? What was that?
So in regards to what the scholars of the past have said about the hand, the face, the shin, the fingers, and so on and so forth, is that as Muslims we have to accept all these narrations because it's mentioned in the Quran and in the Hadith also. But in regards to asking how they are and imagining it and picturing it, then we can't do that because we don't know how. We say that Allah has a hand and a face and all his attributes in his own majestic way, and we don't make any similitude to the creation. And funnily enough, the book that I'm reading from is actually by Salafi Publications. For the brother that said that we're doing taqiyya, it's actually called Usul Sunnah, Foundations of the Sunnah. I didn't even realize until I just looked at the back for the one that's saying I'm doing taqiyya. So this is from Salafi Publications, which is based in Birmingham. And also from the Salafi scholars, I'm just going to mention something very quickly. From Sheikh Muhammad ibn Salih al-Uthaymeen, he mentions regarding the attributes of Allah that we don't make any tahrif, we don't change them and we don't distort them. We don't make any ta'til, which means we don't deny them. We don't make any takyif, meaning we don't question how they are, and we don't make any tamthil, because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in the Quran, laysa kamithlihi shay. Allah is not like the creation and we are not like Allah. So the tamthil, it means we don't make similitude between us and the creation. So we don't believe that Allah has a hand like ours.
Wait, hold on, Ibrahim. On that point, you said you affirm what's in the Quran, the hadiths about Allah, right? You said that, right?
No. Naam, yes.
So now listen, Akhi, you contradicted yourself. This is a massive contradiction. Look at this, yeah? If the Muslims were to say, Allah is an invisible God, we've never seen him, we don't know nothing how he looks like, period, I would accept it from the Muslim point of view. Then you can literally say there's nothing like Allah. But you guys are suffering from massive cognitive dissonance. The moment you admit your God has a shin, I look at my shin and I say, oh, Allah is now comparing himself to his creation. He's doing that himself. I'm not doing that. Allah has a hand, Allah has a face, Allah has 2 left feet, 2 right hands, whatever it is, right? This is madness. You're not seeing the massive contradiction. You contradicted yourself like 20 times. On one hand, oh, Allah is nothing like unto him. We cannot compare. The next minute, oh, Allah has body parts that us humans and animals have as well. This is a massive contradiction, yeah? If you say, wait, hold on. If you say Allah has a hand, but his hand is greater than my hand, so what? He has a hand. He's admitting it himself. So the point is, yeah, that your Allah, obviously, when the Arabs created this religion, they created a humanistic God, a God who gets jealous, a God who gets angry, a God wrath, a God merciful. These are all human attributes, human characteristics, and human body parts. It's as simple as that. You can give me your, little spin on it, but this is clear as day to anyone who can see it. The moment you Muslims compare Allah, or Allah compares himself to human beings, it's game over. That there's nothing like Allah is garbage. It's out the window. It's finished. Khalas, done.
Could I get a say, please?
Yeah, go ahead.
Go ahead.
Fact though. Go ahead.
Right, can you hear me? Yeah. So, what the brother was saying regarding the shin, that is in effect a Salafi. I do not represent the Salafi methodology. Rather, I represent this Ash'ari Kalam methodology. Now, this has been a debate in Islam regarding where does God lie. Now, the statement and the question where God lies has many presuppositions. Number one is that God actually is in a location regarding the word where. But regarding the awareness of God, God created time and space, and therefore for him to dwell in time and space would mean he is like his creation and dwells within his creation. And this is what philosophers such as Spinoza also advocated. Now, the problem with this is if God dwells within time and space and is within his creation, that means the laws and regulations of the creation also in effect apply to God, and that would be logical. Another point is space and time have limits. They are what is known as mahdud, they are limited. And to say that God dwells within a space would also mean God is limited, and therefore that would be illogical. Now, I've got a statement by a Islamic philosopher and great scholar of Islam named Ar-Razi, and you can search him up on the internet. And he writes in his book Mafatih al-Ghaib, the keys of the unseen, that a person who ascribes bodily attributes to God is a kafir, a non-believer. Now, regarding the statement, does Allah have hands? Yes, it is in the Quran, and there are many other.
He's on mute. The brother's on mute.
What happened? Yeah, the guy cut off or something.
Oh, my bad. I muted him by accident. Brother, please mute your mic.
This is excellent. I can reply to the brother. I've got all the stuff here, inshallah.
Sorry about that, brother. I muted your mic by accident. Go ahead.
No worries. Now, in the Quran, there are many verses or ayat which denote bodily functions or attributes to God, such that Allah has a hand, which is in Surah 48, verse 10. Allah grasps with his hand, and many other, Allah has a face, etc. And these have been termed mutashabihat by the scholars. Mutashabihat meaning the interpretation becomes difficult. Now, the historical viewpoint the scholars of Islam have had could be categorized into 3 positions. Number one is that some scholars like believe that those who have sufficient knowledge, either ulama, the scholars, are permitted to interpret such verses and explain them in a manner that is befitting to God and God's transcendental be like God's transcendence. So when God says Allah's hand, for example, some scholars have interpreted this as a metaphor, as His power or His care, and another ayat which says God rests upon the throne. Some scholars have interpreted that as God having like His majesty and His grasp over the earth and His like power. Now, another position is that we leave the interpretation to God and we believe in them. And the scholar of Medina of the Maliki school of thought, which the in Orthodox Islam believes in four madhahib, four schools of thought. From one of the schools of thought, the leader Imam Malik was asked about the question where God sits on the throne, and he replied that the sitting of God is not. We are well aware of the sitting, but how this sitting is done and its exact form is uncomprehend. It's not the human being cannot comprehend how God actually sits. And he says, "Wal imanu bihi wajib," that faith in these verses is compulsory, because in effect, if you're not going to believe in these verses, you'll be rejecting the verses of the Quran, and therefore one would be a non-Muslim. But asking about this is an innovation. And then there's another position which the Salafiyya take, such as Sheikh Ibn Taymiyyah and his followers. And I'm going to leave it out here because I've gone on for quite a while and let other people join in. But I do have other references too, which I hope to inform you guys about.
Excellent. Definitely. And I think
Kalam,
hold on.
Can I bring some medicine when you're ready?
Definitely. So there's 2 points that you kind of made mention of. The first one I'm actually going to target right now is that Allah doesn't dwell inside of His creation because of the Spinoza, etc. So I wanted to know, is the lowest heaven part of Allah's creation, and does He dwell in there at the third part of the night?
Who's answering that?
Brother Joe. Actually, no, Joe. Yeah, go on, Joe. Since you made mention of it.
Yeah, so okay, regarding such narrations, prophetic narrations, a hadith, as I have mentioned, there are several positions the scholars take. One of them is we believe in these without superimposing our human, limited, mortal explanations. Or another position is that scholars would interpret such verses, such as I mentioned, regarding God's hand means His care or His power. I've got some references here, but yeah, so here this is a book written by Imam Sanusi, who is a classical Islamic scholar from Morocco, and it's that he says that there are a hadith which says that when Allah was and there was nothing besides Him, meaning that
before you go into that, I just want to know from you: does Allah descend to the lowest heaven at the third part of the night?
No,
that's not.
Movement is not attributed to God. Movement is God. Movement, bodily functions, movement, nothing can be ascribed to God. God is transcendent and beyond that.
So I want to know real quickly. I'm going to read Sahih Bukhari 1145 and Muslim 1261 by Abu Huraira. He says here that the Prophet said that the Lord descends every night to the lowest heaven when 1/3 of the night remains. So I want to know: is this hadith, in your opinion, Sahih? Is it Hasan? Because if you're saying that He doesn't descend, therefore that this hadith has to be wrong.
Let me reply to that.
Right, or is the hadith wrong?
I've not actually looked at the isnad or chain of narration of that hadith, but because it is Sahih Bukhari, I would assume that it is authentic. However, then, like I mentioned, the interpretation of that hadith would be based on the two positions I have mentioned. And one is that the interpretation will be given, and some scholars have interpreted that as the mercy of God descending, because there are other hadith which dictate that in the morning the believers should go out and try to earn for their provision, earn for their wealth, because it is in the morning that blessings are descended from the heavens. And so I could give I think I have references, but I have to check them. That this hadith refers to the mercy of God descending in the morning, or such other interpretations have been given.
Okay, because in the same article, it actually, and anybody who's stating these things are verily misguided, and this is from a person from the Majmu Fatwa wa Rasail al Sheikh Muhammad ibn Salih al Uthmaymin, 1203 to 210. He gives various reasons as why that anybody who says alternatively that it's his command or it's mercy is very much so misguided for even saying these things. And he gives a whole reasoning which we actually correct earlier on in the show to Ahmed.
Yeah, so like I mentioned before I gave my piece, was that this has been a sectarian theological issue between Muslims, and there are differences of opinion. I disagree with attributing bodily function to God, because God says in the Quran, "Laysa kamithlihi shay," that there's nothing like God.
Excellent. So I want to know, you said that you negate any movement of Allah. So Allah does not move at all.
No, God's essence does not move. No.
Okay. So when God, for example, rose over his throne, that wasn't any movement at all, you're saying. Also, when God said kun fayakun, that was no movement at all. Is that what you're saying?
I've heard you, Kalam, on Titans TV before, talking about metaphors and symbolicism. So I would invoke you to assume such in these cases as well. So when God says that He rose over the throne, some scholars have interpreted it as God's power and etc. But I've got references. I'll take me a few minutes to get them out. So I'll let somebody else talk for a bit.
Can I come in, inshallah?
No problem. I respect it. Yep. Go ahead, Ibrahim. Go ahead.
Okay. Bismillah, alhamdulillah, wassalatu wassalamu ala rasulillah wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wa man wala wa ba'd. Okay. Just to quickly clarify something, yeah. You know, people they straight away assuming that when we say Allah has a hand in His own majestic way, which is not like our hand, yeah. This isn't a comparison. Likewise, does Allah hear everything? Does Allah see everything? Yes, He does. But is His hearing and is His seeing like our sight and our hearing? No, it's not. Our sight and our hearing is limited. His Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's hands, hearing, eyes, face is nothing like the creation. You know, let me just bring something up, inshallah. Yeah. Let me give an example from Imam at-Tirmidhi, who I'm sure you guys know, inshallah ta'ala. Just give me a second. Yeah. Imam at-Tirmidhi, he mentions about Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's hand, makes ta'wil about these ayat and says that this is the actual power of Allah. Like, you know, when people give a metaphorical meaning, yeah, you know how people say Allah's hand is the power of Allah, it's not His actual hand. He said, and this is the reference for it, in Sunan at-Tirmidhi, and page number 24, he said about this, whoever a hand is like his power, or is his power, then he is from the Jahmiyyah. The Jahmiyyah was a sect who negated all the attributes of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. If you was to ask them about the throne, they would say no. If you was to ask them about the hand, the face, the shin, the fingers, they'd say no. Now, from the Salafiyun, what do we say? What did I say from the start? I mentioned the statements from the Salaf, from Nu'aym bin Hammad and from Imam Ahmad ibn Hanbal, that they said that these ahadith, these narrations and verses, yeah, they should be left as they are. We affirm them and we do not make any similitude for them. This is what has been agreed upon by the scholars. Likewise, Imam al-Awza'i, who was from the early Salaf, he mentioned, this is reported by Imam al-Lalaka'i in Sharh Usul al-I'tiqad, volume 4, page 430. He said that I asked Imam al-Zuhri and Imam Makhul about these ayat pertaining to the sifat, pertaining to the attributes of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and he said, leave them as they are. So what did the Salafiyun say? We say that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's attributes, we have to affirm them because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He mentioned them Himself, and the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam mentioned them himself. But we do not make any similitude to them, to the creation. Likewise, when you speak about a hand, a physical hand, yeah, is your hand and the hand of the clock the same? No, is your hand and the hand of a animal the same? No, it's not. So obviously, the way we say Allah has a hand, what did I say? Allah has a hand in His own majestic way. Is it a hand like ours? Can I look at my hand right now and say Allah has a hand like mine? No, of course not. This is kufr. I become
Kalam, can I ask a question? Can I just
What's
respond
the
to this
point
brother's
of?
question?
Yeah, go ahead.
I just respond to it because, brother, I think the issue is this. The issue is not even if his hand is different to ours. The issue is that he actually has a hand. So then my question would be, if he has a hand, what was his hands for? What was his face for? Do you see what I'm saying? Like you said, a hand of a clock. We know what a hand of a clock is used for. We know what a hand of a fish is for.
Yeah.
We know what a hand of a European for a human being is for. So the hand that Allah has, which we don't know, like you just said, what was it for? You see what I'm saying? These are the questions now that's going to start to happen, because now that I've understood now that you guys actually believe that Allah has a face, a hand, feet, and shins. My question is now, what was that for? What was his feet for?
Can I
Do you know what I mean? What was he using
Can I
that for?
talk to you real quickly,
Sir?
Gabs? I think the hand was used to the hands are used for creating. It says here in Surah 38, verse 75. That's Surah Al-Sad. That said, "O Iblis, what prevented you from prostrating to that which I created with my own hands? Were you arrogant, or were you among the haughty?" So it seems as though that Allah actually utilizes hands to actually create things with his very own two hands. His own hands he's used to create things. So I would like to know, I use his hands to create human beings, and does he interact with human, or does he interact with this universe? Because clearly the clay of Adam was gathered from the dust of the ground. So I want to know, was Allah on this earth creating man with his own hands, or is there something else to it?
Is that to me? Yeah.
Yeah, to any Muslim.
So okay, so I'm gonna the verse that you just read. Alhamdulillah, we affirm this verse, yeah. But what did I say to you at the start? I said, whatever Allah has affirmed for Himself, we also affirm it. But in regards to now questioning them and asking how, that's where we stop. Like the brother said before, Imam Malik, yeah. Imam Malik, he said about the istiwa, when Allah rose above His throne. Do we affirm this? Yes, we do. But now, asking how and asking and imagining it, then we don't know. You understand?
Brother, Kalam, sorry. Can you just answer my question? Do you know what Allah's hands was for then? What was his hands for? And his feet and his face. What was that for? Do you know?
What is his face for?
What was his hands? Because you said Allah has hands. Obviously, it's not like our hands. We can't imagine it. It's not like any hands we know. But he had hands for.
In regards to what his hands are for, then I don't know that much in it. I'll try to get a response for you. Inshallah, I've got Kalam on Facebook. I'll try send him something there. But like what you're saying, what is his hands for? What are his face for? What is his shins for? What is his fingers for? I don't know. And the general answer will be that we don't know, but we affirm them.
Okay, Ibrahim, can I ask you one thing?
Well, hold on. I just want to say, I think this is I'm actually glad. I think this is one of the best shows that I've been a part of. I'm actually astonished now. Now I can actually bring this question to the Muslims, because this is good. I didn't know generally that you guys believe Allah has hands, feet, face, and all this stuff. So then now, this could dialogue. Do you see what I'm saying now? This is good. Do you know what I mean? That's a good question. Like,
these
what
things
is his hands for?
they keep secret from the non-Muslims, and they only answer when it's brought up. You know, they're not gonna obviously bring this out. It's
Bro,
damaging, very damaging. You know.
why are you accusing me of like you keep
I
making
didn't say you. I just said in general. But listen, Ibrahim, let me ask a question. Yeah. Do you know of the story where Adam was being created, right, by Allah, and He told him to finish him before sunset? Have you ever heard of the story?
No, I haven't.
You've never heard of the story? Okay, well, you should look it up. It's a story where Allah is creating Adam. Yeah, He's molding him, whatever. He's using his hands, and the sun is rising, and Adam's telling Allah, he's saying, "Finish me before the sun set." So here we can see in this story, yeah, that Allah is using His physicality. He's using His hands. He's using His body. Okay, so this is just one point I want to bring up to you.
Okay, do you have the reference for this narration?
Yeah, let me look it up. Let me try to post in the chat. But I'm sure you heard the story before. I'm sure you heard the story.
Yeah. Can I say something to the brother?
Go ahead, King.
Yeah, I've been waiting. I just the reason maybe some Muslims are getting confused is that they don't stick to the Quran, and a lot of Muslims have come on here and admitted it's not a factual, scientific, you get what I'm saying, historical book. Do you get what I'm saying? It's just a guide, supposedly. Now, the second thing is that you are not supposed to follow hadiths according to the Quran. So, I mean, and it says, woe unto thee should not be read. Hadith should not be read. That is Surah 45, verse 6 to 11. So I don't understand why people are talking about all these religious scholars and their interpretation, because in actual fact, you are only meant to read the one hadith, which is the Quran. So, yeah, that's all I wanted to say.
Could I reply to that, please?
Okay.
Go ahead.
Yeah, in the Quran there is a verse which goes, "Laysa kamithlihi shay." There is nothing like Him, and yet He is all seeing and all hearing. So this means that God is dissimilar to originated beings, to us contingent mortals, and through the exegesis and the what are known as the tafasir, the scholars have expounded upon this and said that a body is that, like bodily attributes, is something that occupies a portion of space, and God is dissimilar to creation, that He is neither a body that occupies a space nor an accident that subsists within a body. He is dissimilar to all of creation, be it a man, angel, jinn, and so forth. Thus, it is inconceivable for Him to be ascribed with attributes of created beings like walking, sitting, and having limbs. He is transcendent from having limbs such as a mouth, an eye, an ear, and so forth. And this is what Imam an-Nawawi, a classical scholar, has said. And he has also gone on to explain the hadith on nuzul, on God descending from the sky to the first heaven.
But what? Hold on.
avoiding the question.
I'm confused.
Okay, hold on.
The question.
One second.
Sorry,
You know what?
because I think. Sorry, Ifa. I'm sorry to cut you, Ifa, because it's true. You did avoid your question, but I feel like his question was kind of directed to what I was saying.
Okay.
But I'm confused now because I'm sure the other brother, I don't know who it was, but one of them said that Allah has feet and hands. So then now, what you're saying now doesn't really make no sense to me, because it's either, are you saying He didn't have no hands and feet? Regardless if it's like any human beings, I want to know, did He have hands and feet? If yes, my question was what were they used for? What was these hands and feet for? And now the question that Aoife said is of talking about the Quran, talking about the hadiths. That's another question that you got to deal with still. But I just wanted to know, if Allah did have hands and feet and you're saying he does have hands and he does have feet, what were they used for? Or unless you're telling me that what the other brother said was wrong and that he doesn't. That's all.
Look, who's replying to this one?
I'll reply to that and say, when God describes himself as having hands and feet and the face, like it says in the Quran, like I've mentioned, these are known as mutashabihat, verses which are difficult to interpret, because elsewhere in the Quran, God also mentions that God is unlike created beings, like that nothing is similar to him. So no, God does not have a literal hand, literal face like us human beings do, like we have. Rather, it says metaphorical, or you could take the other position, like I had also mentioned, that we believe in them without questioning it and leaving it for God, as He knows truly what He means by this.
But brother, this is going back to what the brother said, because he then said that the hand on a clock is not the same to a human being. The hand of a frog is not the same to a human being. So what I'm trying to say is, I understand what you're saying, that his hand is not like, I'm not saying his hand is like a human being. We're just using the word hand. That hand could be anything. But what I'm trying to say is, if he does have a hand, and he says he has a hand because he's saying he has a hand, but then now you're telling me what other scholars who are human beings are saying. But he's already saying he has a hand. So I'm going to go by what he's saying. So if he's saying he has hands, I want to know, what was his hands for? Not if they were like human beings' hands or a frog's hands or a clock's hand or any other hands. I just want to know, what was his hands for? What was that for? What was his hands and his face and his feet? What was that for?
Exactly. Answer that. Don't deflect. Don't give us, there's nothing like unto Allah and blah, blah, blah. Just answer. What's the point of his hand, his shin? Why does Allah have one shin, not two shins? What's the point of his shin or his hand or his face? Just answer that. Don't deflect, guys. You're playing games.
Okay, can I come in, yeah?
Answer that.
Okay, basically, there's loads of different topics being spread about here. I'm gonna quickly pause this. I think brother, he just said something about the hadith being mentioned in the Quran, yeah, and how we should reject them. My brother,
No. Answer this before you go there. Before you go there, answer this. You're running away now. Just answer this. Even you can say I don't know. That's a fair answer. If you don't have to be arrogant. If you don't know, just say you don't know for the record.
Kalam, you know this brother here. He likes to jump up and down a bit, man. You tell him to calm down.
Listen. Can you just answer the question, please?
Brother, I'm here until the call ends here. I'm not running.
No problem. Can you answer this question? Forget the hadith in the Quran. Just answer this question first. What's the point of Allah's body parts, his hand, his face, whatever? Give us your opinion.
Yeah, cool. Okay, let me reply now, yeah. The reason I went back to the hadith one is because Gabs is like, you're avoiding it. And now you're saying I'm avoiding this one. So let me reply to you because you're so, jumpy, yeah. Your question was what is the point? What is the use, or what does Allah do with his hands and his face and his fingers and so on and so forth? Yeah, is that correct?
Yeah, like for example, yeah. Let me just, so I can clarify.
Oh, is that your question?
Yeah, it's my question, but let me clarify so it's crystal clear, so it's not ambiguous. Yeah.
Yeah. Understand, bro? I understand.
No. Just hold on.
Okay, go on.
Are you there? Yeah. Okay. A person has a foot. Yeah. A human being to walk, to run, to move. A person has a hand to grab, to touch, to feel, yeah? A person has a face for recognition, yeah? So
Get it.
Your God supposedly has these similar things. So now what is the point of that? It's very crystal clear now.
Okay. You're asking, so you're saying Allah's basically compared himself to the creation, so Allah's like the creation.
No.
Illogical.
Hold on a second.
No.
Let me answer the question. Sorry, Max.
Yeah,
Bro,
go ahead.
Sorry. I want to say this nice and clearly, yeah?
Okay.
So we know, like the brother said, there's different hands. A frog has a hand, his hand is used differently. A fish's hand is used differently. A clock has a hand, which is used differently. And a human being has a hand, which is used differently. Now, my question to you is, Allah has a hand. I don't know what it looks like. I don't know, and it's not like none of the creation, but he has a hand. I just want to know what his hands and what his feet.
What you want to ask what the purpose is behind it, yeah?
Yeah, what's his hands and his feet used for? Yeah.
My brother, I answered your question like 5 minutes ago. I said to you, I'm gonna get back to Kalam. I've got him on Facebook. I don't know the answer to this, and I said to you
Oh,
the general
I
the
didn't know.
general and I said the general answer would be, like I said, we affirm these attributes of Allah. We don't question how they are, and we don't specifically know what they're for. This is the general answer. If there's a specific answer, I'm gonna try to get that for you by tomorrow. I'm gonna send it.
I've got something to add.
You see, brother, I sorry to cut in. I think that's a bit insincere, because if you read the Quran, it tells you that Allah used the pen. How do you use the pen without a hand? To teach, to teach man all that he did not know. So, you know, that's an action, you know, having a pen, then that's to write. He's going to write down something. So that is a physical action. So, you know, I don't understand if you've read the Quran. The problem is you keep jumping to hadiths, which is getting you into problem. That's the problem.
Okay, cool.
And that's my point. And that's another point. I'm glad. Sorry to cut you, bro. That's another point. You know why? Because me and Kalam was actually talking about this. Because now, yeah, it's starting to make sense to me. Because now, going on what the brother Ethan just said, if you're now saying that Allah has hands, feet, and a face, it would make sense now in the Quran. Because if you're saying in the beginning, Allah said, kun fayakun, that would only have to come from someone that has a face, and which means he would need a mouth. So that word kun fayakun would have come out this person's mouth.
Yeah.
So then now,
but what are you doing?
If God is speaking, it would make sense why he has a face. Do you see what I'm saying? So then this is why I'm saying, obviously, the reason why he has a face is because obviously he's speaking, he talks things into existence. Yeah. But then the reason why he has hands, there must be a reason why he has hands. But in the Quran, we see why he has hands, like the brother Kalam showed. He was molding man. He was creating things. Do you know what I mean? So, and then he has feet. So the feet must have been used for something.
Yeah.
Do you see what I'm saying? So that's why I'm asking, what were these things used for? What was he doing? And like the brother Nan Ifa said, maybe the Quran is actually being simple and actually telling you what it is for. But hadiths now and scholars have come and said, no, it's not this. We're the scholars. God actually means this. But yet they're saying something differently to what God's saying. Do you see what I'm saying? They're trying to make us understand what God's saying, which doesn't make no sense.
Can I reply to that?
They haven't got no magical powers above. They're humans just like us, but yet they're telling us no. God actually means this.
Just give me 1 minute to reply very quickly. Yeah?
I'll reply in the meantime. Now, this questioning whether God has hands and other human attributes, etc., is not a modern phenomenon. These questions have appeared in Islamic literature throughout the ages, and I'm going to present an excerpt by a classical scholar who I think sums this up very clearly. And he also addresses the question you raised regarding what is the purpose behind the hand and etc.
All right.
And
Pause
this
for
scholar
a second before you actually do that. Family, this show's been on for over 5 hours, okay? And it's going to be an absolute hell to try to actually cut this up into various different shows. So I'm going to be closing down literally in the next like 2 minutes. As soon as this topic has been answered by the Muslim brothers here, I'm actually going to be closing down the show. We will continue off air, but this particular show will be closing down in the next 2 minutes. I'm pretty sure my brother's going to say something along the fact that they simply have to affirm what's inside of the Quran, and to actually postulate anything outside of that to the borders of heresy, and takes you outside of the fold of Islam. So therefore, even if the Salafis never actually asked these questions, who are we to ask these questions? So therefore, there seems to be no actual growth in terms of the philosophy of Islam itself. They're stagnant to exactly what the Prophet had announced and what the Salaf had actually said as well. That's where I've got a feeling it's going to go. But let's actually hear what the brother has to say, and I'm going to be closing down literally right afterwards. Go ahead, King. Is it Joe or Ibrahim? Go ahead.
Joe, and he had some...
Yeah, so I was saying that I'd implore the Kemetic brothers to how they talk about spirituality and interpretation, metaphorical, to also take that mindset instead of taking an absolute literal mindset according to the Quran as well, because God Himself mentions. I'll repeat this again because I don't think people are understanding that God Himself said there's nothing like likeness unto Him. So again, I'm going to present of a classical scholar named Imam Subki. He says that the early righteous Muslims and the later ones concurred on figuratively interpreting in a general manner the allegorical verses, and that is by diverting the wording from its ostensible meaning that is impossible in relation to God. Yet, when there is no specific indication, this is in relation to when you talked about the purpose of the hand, etc. The scholar says when there is no specific indication on specifying the intended meaning of God, i.e., when God talks about His hand, what does He mean? What does He intend? The scholar says it is therefore obligatory that we stop where the evidence has halted, so we affirm for Him what He meant from His words according to the manner in which He.
He's on mute.
Joe, you there? Hello.
Joe.
Nah, we can't hear him. But Ibrahim, you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
But check this out. It seems like you Muslims are confused because on one hand you have some Muslims, yeah, that say, "Oh, this is literal," and we just leave it alone. It is what it is. We don't add nothing to it. We don't take away. We just Allah has a hand. He has a hand. That's as simple as that. Then you have other Muslims that say, "Oh, this is metaphorical. It means it's power. It means this. It means that." So even the supposedly clear religion of Islam confuses Muslims, confuses the scholars, and you don't even know what's going on. So can you not, guys, see what's going on? That this is just man-made confusion.
Okay, just give me a second. Yeah, before I reply to you, I need to reply to the other brother. Yeah, I don't know what the brother's name is. But he mentioned something about hadith and scholars and how we should just stick to the Quran. Yeah, is that correct? Yeah. So okay.
Yes, that's correct, brother. Yeah, that's correct.
Yeah. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in the Quran, فَاسْأَلُوا أَهْلِ الذِّكْرِ إِن كُنْتُمْ لَا تَعْلَمُونَ, and ask the people of knowledge if you don't know. Number one. Yeah. Number two, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in the Quran, أَتِيُوا اللَّهَ وَأَتِيُوا الرَّسُولَ, obey Allah and obey the Messenger. So if you're saying that we just stick to the Quran, then these verses say otherwise, because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said to obey the Messenger as well. And what the message and how do we obey the Messenger? By accepting what he said.
Well, you're running away from the point because the messenger didn't write no hadiths, and he didn't even write the Quran. So I don't know what point you're trying to make.
Checkmate.
I'm saying I gave you chapter and verse in the Quran where it says, "Woe unto thee, hadith should not be read."
Okay, can you give me the exact verse where this hadith is mentioned? Yeah.
That's Surah 45, chapter verse 6 to 11.
My brother, there's no hadith mentioned here. I've got it in front of me right now.
Oh.
Can you tell me the exact verse where the term hadith is mentioned? The exact verse.
I gave you it.
You said 6 to 11. That's 5 verses. Can you give me the one verse where the term
in chapter in Surah 45? Sorry.
Yeah, I know what you're saying.
Okay.
In Surah, but
so why are you running?
Just read. Do you want me to read the verse?
Yeah, if you want to read it, yeah, you can read the verse. That's up to you. You know what I'm saying? But I would hold on one sec. I would personally use that for your private study. Same as what is the Quran hadith? Yeah, you can go to Surah 39, verse 23 and 31. Surah 31 from 6 to 7, just in case your thing. So make sure you're writing it down, or if you need it again, and then you can study that later. But the bottom line is that what you interpretate from another person's interpretation, you know, you can lose something in the translation. And I'm saying it would be easier for you to avoid all this confusion and say, if you're using science or you're using, you know, other methodologies, and put religion aside, because the moment you try to mix it together, you're going to end up in confusion, like you obviously are.
I hear what you're saying, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I'm saying stick with the Quran and what the Quran says. Once you go into hadiths, that the Quran told you don't mess with those hadiths. There should be no other hadiths. You get what I'm saying? After this hadith, which the Quran is, but it's the hadiths of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So that's it. And that's the only thing you should be focused and concentrated on. If you're going to go into other realms of science and multiple universes and all, you just have to go into that field. You cannot attribute the one to the other according to a book 1500 years ago, if you understand.
Okay, Kalam. Basically, I was gonna say this topic is gonna go a long way, and what I'm about to say is gonna be very long. So, if you want to end it now and just leave it on a private discussion with only us lot, that's fine. But if you want to continue, then I don't mind as well.
All right, let me end it real quickly. I'm tired, you know. You guys are keeping me up all night long. It's 11 o'clock. I'm sure we started this hangout from what, 6 o'clock? It was 6 o'clock we started this, right? Jesus, you lot going in. All right, loving it so far, family. Loving it. Family, we're gonna have another show lined up for you, inshallah, tomorrow. You know, we'll see what we can do. You know, we'll see what we can do. I say that, but you know what? That means there is no show tomorrow. So let me just say, we're going to do something soon. We're going to do something soon. I can't promise you guys anything right now, but we'll see what we can do. Hey, yo, Medicine Man. Medicine Man, where are you, Medicine Man? He's thinking.
Did you cancel the YouTube live stream already? Or is it still on?
Not yet. Not yet. I'm waiting for my Medicine Man to come on real quickly to end the live stream.
Oh, okay.
Are you coming on?
But Kalam, remember what Gab said before? He said he wants to end it on the Zachariah thing. Remember that? Were you there when he said that?
Boy, I don't know. But
okay, let's ask him right now.
He's not here, so I'm going to just end it. So, yeah, family, peace and love. I do apologize. We're actually going to be ending it right now. You know, it's been a very powerful show. And it's gone on for over 5 hours, man. Over 5 hours. So I think we've done enough. We've done enough for literally for the whole week, and maybe even for the whole. Okay. So peace, family. I'll see you guys soon. All right. Love. Let's say ones. All right. If you want the show to continue, you have to donate at least £5. If you want the show to continue, donate £5. If you don't have £5, you can donate at least £1. If you can't do that, then there is no show. So I'm going to wait 30 seconds to see if anybody chooses to donate at least £5. If there is £5, I will continue the show.
The money maker.
Hey, trust me. Trust me. Let's see. Can we see? Is there any donations? I'm going to wait 30 more seconds. If there's any donations, I'm asking for £5. That's if there's 5 people donating £1 each, that's £5. Can we do it? An hour. So if you give me one £5 donation, I'll go on for an extra hour. This is less than minimum wage. Come on, family. We can do this. We can do this.
Come on, guys, donate to keep the stream up on YouTube. Donate.
Gabs, where you at though, family? Gabs, are you there? Still not there.
I think he left.
Who's beefy anyway? Who's beefy? Beefy.
What does that mean? What do you mean?
Do you want me to continue? Yeah.
Wait, not yet.
Who's
Beefy, are you there?
What do you mean by that?
There's somebody.
Oh, this guy, yeah.
Beefy,
Hotep.
Hotep.
Okay.
Nope, you're not there. All right. Well, family, you know, somebody's saying F you, Kalam. Why are you mad, bro? Why are you mad? So,
Why you mad, son?
Lexi Star donated $1.27. Pence one donated 5 bitcoins. Let's see. Mr. Pocket Rocket has donated 5.
Oh, 20 pounds. There you go, man. We gotta keep it one more hour, man. Love it. Love it.
I'm on. Take your money back, King. I'm on. Take your money back. Because I ain't that means I gotta go on for 4 hours.
Nah, Kalam, don't do him dirty. Don't do him dirty, Kalam. 1 more hour.
Ask Google for your money back, King. Like, I was only fronting.
Nah. You can't do him dirty, Kalam.
I can't even do it, you know. And I'm a man of my word, so I'm gonna ask you to just take your money back because I can't go on for that extra hour. You know, I was just
Kalam, come on, man.
You know,
Kalam, listen.
Thou shall not lie. Thou shall not lie.
Yo, Kalam, listen. I'm gonna stay on the call, yeah, but I'm just gonna leave my phone on my bed. I'm just quickly coming back. Give me 2 minutes, yeah. I'm staying on the call though, yeah.
All right, cool. Cool. All right. Do you know what? Yeah. Because I'm a man of my word, and I wasn't expecting that because I was only joking around. Is this Amun who's donated? Amun, man, let me know, fam, because I was just playing. Can I shut it down, though, G? Can I shut it?
There's another donator. Memon, he donated £2, man. You gotta keep it up now.
Family.
Thou shall not lie, Kalam. Thou shall not lie.
I know.
Hey, put some ones in the chat. Put some ones in the chat if you guys want to.
I want some permission, you know, G. Like, that's only one person. You know what I'm gonna do? Since it was that one person that donated £20. Do you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna invite him in.
It's two people. Another guy donated £2. Check the chat.
All right, these 2 individuals, they can come in. You can get the link to come in. All right, so if you want the link to come in, message me, inbox me, and then you get the link. Y'all throwing at ones, but you lot are not donating. There's only 2 people that donated. I asked for 5 people to donate at least £1, and only 2 people donated big monies. You know, nah, fam, no. I can't do that. I can't do that. I can't keep on going. Yeah,
Kalam, the man donated 20. That's 20 people. £1 for 20 people. Come on, man.
No.
20 people, man.
There needed to be at least 5 people. Preferred, yeah, if 5 people donated, how much would that be? 5 times 4. If 5 people donated £4, then it would have been cool. All I ask for is 5 donations. Can I get 5 donations? It could be as little as £1. If there ain't no 5 donations, little as £1, it's only going to be these 2 individuals that's going to get the live chat. How about that? So I'm going to wait for another 30 seconds to see if anybody else donates. If we get the numbers up to 5 people, so that's 3 more people need to donate. Only 3 more people. You could donate as little as £1.
Kalam, you got to tell the people how they can donate. Maybe some people don't know.
All right, cool. This is it right here. Let's see.
You got to show the people.
There's a super chat button. All right here. All you have to do is click the super chat button, send a super chat. You can donate £2. MC, can you do £1? I don't even know how to do this again, you know. But basically, you can choose how much money you want to actually donate. Usually gives you the option. Send a super chat. Your amounts. Yeah. So you can just choose how much you want to donate, basically. So that's the only way I'm going to continue the show. If 3 extra people donate. Otherwise, it's only those people who are going to get the links. Use Streamlabs for donations. They don't take a cut. F giving YouTube 30% or whatever. For real, I don't even know how much they take, you know. I haven't even clocked that yet. You're right. You're right. I should start using something like that and getting donations in. Thanks, family. But yeah, I'm good, you know. It's rely. You can't just type in £5, you know. You actually have to donate the money, G. To donate the money. So, anyways, all right, cool. I'm gonna let it go. Let's go, family. You're gonna have another 30 minutes of my time on here.
All right, cool.
The live stream's still up?
Yeah, it's still up, man. Let me keep it rolling because I feel bad, man, to take people's money and not actually deliver anything. So,
Can I ask a question?
Ibrahim, hold on.
Wait.
Straight after you can ask the question. Max, yeah, you're on a 10-minute break. Don't unmute your mic, okay, in the next 10 minutes. So when it hits 20 past 11, that's when you could unmute your mic. If you unmute your mic before then, you're going to get
20
ejected.
past
I don't
11.
want to because I love you, my brother, but
All right.
yeah, 20 past 11, my time.
10 minutes,
family.
yeah, you said?
10 more minutes. 10 minutes. Yeah.
Okay,
go ahead, Ibrahim.
Okay, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Still, the brother, I know for sure Kalam knows Arabic here. He told me as well he knows Arabic and he learned Arabic. Brother, I'm on Surah 45, verses 6 to 11, and I still can't find the term hadith. There's about 15 people in this chat. Can everyone go to Surah 45? Because maybe, I don't know, there's something wrong with me. Maybe I'm confused or Allahu Alam, I don't know. But can everyone go to Surah 45, Quran.com, go through verses 6 to 11, and if you can find the term hadith for me, inshallah, then we can carry on this discussion, inshallah. Whoever knows Arabic, then that's even better. I know Kalam knows Arabic, so he can even point it out for me as well. Maybe I'm wrong, yeah? That's why I'm asking you guys to do it. There's about 10, 15 people, yeah? Inshallah. If I'm wrong, then you guys can correct me. Okay. Anyways, to continue, about the hadith, the brother said, the brother made a sick point here. He said that the hadith weren't even written by Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. The Quran wasn't even written by Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Okay, number one, how do we know that the Quran, is the Quran that we have today? Through riwayat and through isnad, yeah? Through how it was passed down through the chains. How do we know that the hadith are authentic? Through the chains as well. And I know Kalam knows this himself as well. For example, the Prophet ﷺ will narrate something, yeah? Then Abu Huraira will hear it, and he will memorize it, like how they memorize Surah Al-Fatiha, like how they memorize Surah Al-Ikhlas, like how they memorize Surah Al-Baqarah. Abu Huraira or Abdullah ibn Abbas, they will memorize the saying of the Prophet ﷺ, which is the hadith. Then this hadith will be passed down, and if that person is reliable, then we will accept it. But if the person is not reliable, if this person is a deviant, if this person is a liar, if this person is crazy or mentally unstable, we won't accept it. And I know Kalam knows this as well. So I don't know. I'm sure Gab should know this as well. So I don't know why.
Yeah, but is that in the Quran though?
Brother.
No, be honest. Is that in the Quran though?
Brother,
is that a commandment out of the Quran to do this?
Brother, I'm still waiting for you to provide this verse for me.
Bro, I gave you the verse of thing. Research and homework is the words I mentioned.
Brother, I've got the actual.
By the way, I was very clear in what I was saying.
Hold on.
So, you get what I'm saying?
Hold on. Let me just get this quickly. Ibrahim, what was your question again for us to do?
Kalam, basically, the brother that just spoke. Okay, what's his name? Because I can't just address him like that. Can you tell me his name, please?
Brother Michael.
Yeah, Brother Michael, yeah. He said in Surah 45, Surah Al-Ghathiyah, verses 6 to verse 11, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he tells us to reject the hadith. Yeah? And basically, I said to the brothers, can you please go to this surah? Because you've already done it. It's on your screen. To go to verses 6 to verse 11 to find me where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said that we should reject the hadith. Is that okay, yeah?
Okay. And then in verse 45, Surah 45, verse 6, let's just quickly read it. Then
I'll let you do that, inshallah.
Let's let Michael speak about it again. These are the verses of Allah which we recite to you in truth. Then in what statements after Allah and his verses will they believe? So, brother Michael, is there what did you want to say on that? Then basically, what's your comment on that one?
Translation of the word verses. What do they mean by verses? If not hadith.
Yes, the word there is hadith. Yes, the word there is hadith.
Okay, that's all I was trying to prove. That's it.
Yeah. So where does Allah say that to reject the hadith? To reject the hadith.
To reject hadith.
That's the point that I was making, Kalam.
Sorry? No, you were making the point that the word wasn't there.
No, the wording that you used is not there. That's what I'm saying. It's not there in Arabic and it's not there in English.
No, you see, the problem is translation. You see what I'm saying? Because people who translate things, they're going to use different words when it's in English. They can't say hadith in English because the word hadith is not English. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, the verse says, these are the verses of Allah which we recite to you in truth. Then in what statement after Allah and His verses will they believe? So you said to me that Allah is saying to reject the hadith, and that's what I'm looking for, inshallah.
No, I told you one that the Quran is a hadith.
I'm not rejecting this, bro.
Okay. No, I'm saying the Quran is a hadith of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.
Yep.
I made that claim.
Yep.
And was I incorrect in that claim?
No, that's correct.
Okay.
Hadith
So
is
what
speech.
what I'm saying is, the hadiths produced outside of the Quran at a later date and later time is all inauthentic. I mean, it's authentic if you want to know about the life of the Prophet, but then that becomes a subjective argument because it's a man's interpretation of an interpretation of an interpretation. Do you get what I'm saying? So I'll be honest and say, just stick to the Quran and leave it as is. If you want to go into other fields or schools of thought, like God or Allah or Alat or Manat, or, you know, and that goes into the culture of the people of the time. So, you know, this is what these are not worldwide concepts. This is a concept that came to a specific set of people at specific time. Do you get what I'm saying? So, you know, and even the word Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala does not mean the name of God. It seems it was alluded from the angel Gabriel to give Muhammad that information. Do you get what I'm saying? So we have to go back to the older texts that we made the discussion about earlier, like the Torah and the Injil, which is mainly inside the Quran. So I don't understand why there's a problem about it, if it's authentic. I say what's inauthentic is the hadiths. Can we just leave that alone? And that interpretation of the Quran you had is a modern interpretation.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Coming under Uthman, So nothing is authentic basically because we can't have an original, you know what I mean? We're not saying it's inauthentic because of that, but I'm saying personally, just stick to that. And that's the end of what I'm saying.
Okay. Inshallah, when you have time, I still want to see your interpretation, because sorry, just quick yes or no question, please. Do you still stand by what you said that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said to reject the hadith? Brother Michael, sorry. Do you still stand by what you said that Allah said in the Quran in Surah 45 to reject the hadith?
To reject the hadith. No,
to reject the speech of the Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So like what's been recorded in Sahih al-Bukhari and Muslim and so on and so forth.
Well, yeah, that's kind of obvious.
Okay, cool, no problem. That's fine. But I'm gonna wait on your translation, inshallah, because the translations that I have, it says, then in what statement after Allah and His verses will they believe? It doesn't say to reject the hadith of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. But inshallah, I'm gonna wait for your translation. If you can bring it, whether it's Muhsin Khan or Sahih International, like whose translation it is, inshallah. Okay. My response would be very clear. Allah said in the Quran, فَاسْأَلُوا أَهْلِ الذِّكْرِ إِن كُنْتُمْ لَا تَعْلَمُونَ. Ask the people of knowledge if you don't know. And again, Allah said in the Quran in many places, أَتِيُوا اللَّهَ وَأَتِيُوا الرَّسُولَ, and obey Allah and obey the Messenger. Like, because if you're saying to stick to the Quran, I should be killing everyone today. The Quran says kill them wherever you find them. If you're saying to stick to the Quran alone, I should be killing every single one of, my neighbors, my work colleagues, because that's what it says in the Quran, right? Kill them wherever you find them. If you're saying to stick to the Quran,
Are you saying there's not worse in the hadiths?
sorry?
Are you saying there's not worse in the hadiths?
No, but my point is this: whether there's worse in the whether there's worse in the hadith, or there's like whatever, and if there's worse in the hadith or not, that's not the point. The point is this: if you're saying for me and the Muslims to stick to the Quran, then we're going to be killing everyone by tomorrow. Do you understand?
Not if you read the last chapter.
So then we're going to be picking and choosing, and cherry picking verses. Yeah.
Well, that's down to you. I mean, everything is still interpretation. Do you get what I'm saying? It's only one book.
Yeah.
And the book proclaims older books and older texts. If you get confused, go to the older books and older texts. What don't you understand about that?
Okay, no problem. You're saying when Allah says go to the people of the Kitab, basically. Yeah.
It's just about the Torah and the Injil according to the Quran and according to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So I'm just leaving it alone. It's just obvious things that I see that Muslims don't read the Quran. They're too caught up in hadiths.
Yeah, okay.
You read hadiths constantly. How much time have you really got for the Quran?
Okay. Let me reply to you, inshallah. Yeah. I'll give you an example of Muslims who read the Quran, but they don't read the hadith. Yeah. I'll give you an example. An example is Daesh, ISIS. Yeah. What ISIS do is they read the Quran, and what don't they do? They don't read the explanation of the Quran. So they'll read verses like "kill them wherever you find them," and that's why you see them today in Syria.
That's a lie, bro. Come on. You can do better than that. Do you get what I'm saying? You know what Wahhabi Sunni Muslims are. You know what their philosophy is. They have hadiths talking about putting. Wait. They have hadiths talking about putting a bomb in your anus. Do you get what I'm saying?
A bomb.
Okay, so this shows that
bombs didn't exist.
One second.
Yeah, maybe you mean fatwas, huh? Like rulings, right?
Yes, exactly. But they would.
And also, Michael, you gotta tell them too. The leader of ISIS is a PhD scholar in Islam. Yeah. Al-Baghdadi, the leader of ISIS, for the record, guys, anyone can Google him. The leader of ISIS has a PhD in Islamic studies and Quranic studies. So this guy, what he's saying is false.
Okay. Quranic studies from where? Can you tell me, please? From which
university? Baghdad University, one of the top universities in Islamic world. Google universities. If you don't know,
brother, I'll be very honest with you. I've heard of Medina, I've heard of al-Qura, I've heard of Riyadh, and I've heard of Kuwait, but I've never heard of Baghdad Uni. And to be honest,
somewhere in Iraq. But you can Google him and look it up for yourself. But it's a well-known, established fact that he has a PhD in Quranic Islamic studies. All right.
My brother. If I go into Google, it will tell me 5 years ago Baghdadi died. It will tell me 2 years ago Baghdadi died. It will tell me.
Now you're playing games. So you don't want to accept that fact. Is all you're saying?
No, I'm not accepting that he was a scholar. No, because he wasn't. Because from his
so
own
if someone
speech
gets a PhD, he's not a scholar. Is all you're saying?
My brother,
anybody can get a PhD in.
My brother. There's many Muslims who have PhDs and they don't know nothing in regards to Aqidah.
We have to stanchion that.
So this,
my brother, I'm telling you,
I agree with you. I agree with you, bro. But that's what I'm saying about hadiths. That's what I'm saying about hadiths.
Max, that point is very, very off, bro. If somebody has a PhD in a particular science, that doesn't mean that they adhere to that knowledge.
I'm trying to save you from problems.
Max, that thing about Baghdadi.
All your problems come from hadiths.
Okay, let's move on from that topic. Yeah. Hadiths. You know what, Michael? There's a movement within the Muslims, yeah? It's called Quranist movement, yeah? Where many Muslims are reading the hadith books, Bukhari, the 6, in Sunni Islam, they call it Kitab al-Sitta, the 6, right? The 6 authentic hadith books, right? Ibn Majah, Tirmidhi, Abu Dawud, Sunnah Abu Dawud, etc., right? Mata Mulik or Muwata Malik,
That's
etc.,
not in the
etc.
six.
Well, some added as the seventh one, but anyways, six
You
or
said
seven.
you
But
mentioned
anyways,
six in it. Yeah. Anyways.
yeah,
Go
you
on.
can go right now and look it up. Some add that in it, some don't. But
But you
anyways, the
said
point
six
is,
though in it.
yeah, I said six, and then some add that in. Are you listening or not, my friend? It's very simple. So look.
You said Kitab al-Sitta, akhi. Bukhari,
Yes, I
Muslim,
did,
Abu
and I said
Dawood, Ibn
some
Majah,
regard
An-Nasa'i.
Mutta Malik as one of the six. Yeah, you know, it's not hard, bro. Just calm down. You know, stop being arrogant.
It's not one of the six.
I said
If you
some. Are
tell
you
me
all Muslims? Okay, listen. You're stranded at that. Listen.
what
The
is
point
Kitab
is, yeah,
al-Sitta? What is Kitab
the
al-Sitta?
point
Can you tell
is,
me?
listen, my friend. I told you the six authentic hadith collections in Sunni Islam. The Shia don't follow us. They have their own books, Jafar and all that, etc. Bro, I'm ex-Muslim. Trust me. I mean,
That doesn't mean
anyways.
anything.
Okay, don't worry what it means. We can test it out. So the point is, yeah, many Muslims have read the hadith books, the hadith collections, yeah, and they saw the madness in it, right? Things like pedophilia, necrophilia, having sex with the dead, things like crazy stories about Allah, crazy stories about Muhammad, Abu Bakr, Uthman, Ali, etc., etc. So after they seen these things, and they seen whatever, a lot of them are ranked sahih, authentic, they decided, you know what? We're going to drop the hadith collections and we're just going to follow the Quran. So there's a movement, yeah, it's called Quranis or Quranist, yeah? And this is probably what the brother Michael's talking about, right, Michael? Those who just follow the Quran alone, right?
Max.
Yep.
Just to brush aside the point you're trying to make there, those people are trying to adhere to that. It makes no sense trying to be a Quranist and reject the hadith. Because if you're going to ask a Quranist,
to them it makes sense, yeah, but go ahead, yeah.
If you're going to ask a Quranist if you're going to ask a Muslim who rejects the hadith but only follows the Quran, ask them, how do you know how to pray? Because the Quran doesn't tell you exactly how to pray.
Yes.
See what I'm making?
Yeah, but it gives you. I hear that. But it gives you enough. Yeah.
I don't see how. I don't see why you're making that point.
Yes, it does.
Because
doesn't tell you
Quran doesn't tell you how to perform.
It doesn't do none of those stuff, and all of those actions and putting your finger in one ear and looking at the devil on one side or angel on one side and an angel on the other side are all in the hadiths.
Okay, Mark, let me ask you a question.
So at the end of the day, no. I'm not saying I'm a Quranist or anything. I'm saying use simple logic. If you're a real Muslim, you know what I'm saying? You go by what's in the Quran, and what's in the Quran says that if you're confused with what's in the Quran, go to the older text, which are the Torah and the Injil and the other one. But yeah, so I'm just using simple logic, you know what I mean? And I can oversee how my Muslim brothers are getting into problems when they're discussing certain things because they're talking from the terms of hadiths. That's all I'm trying to say, bro. That's all I'm trying to say. I'm not saying don't read them. You can do that in your own personal time. As I said, if you want to know about the life of the Prophet and what the Prophet did, that's up to you. Do you get what I'm saying? There's nothing wrong in that. To say you're going to use that as your guide when the Quran is your guide doesn't make sense to me. That's all.
Yeah. No.
Let me say something. Let me just reply to that. Yeah.
Marvin, let me just ask you something. Sorry, just based on what you just said. Yeah. That's kind of true because them positions that you do, when you're praying, what's the reason why you do those positions? Because if you're saying the reason why you do it, I heard Muslims say the reason why we do it is because the Prophet Muhammad prayed like that. But the question is, who taught the Prophet Muhammad how to pray like that?
Let me just get back to Michael's what Michael said because I want to reply to that. Yeah. So Michael, what'd you say? Gabs, what'd you say then?
Yeah. I said, go on. You said you were going to...
Cool. As I was saying is that... Sorry, go on. Yeah, so Michael... the thing is that with hadiths, it's a very delicate science. Me as a person, I won't even regard myself as a proper student of knowledge. Islamic knowledge.
One second. It's not science, though.
Listen.
It might be a delicate science, but it's not science and it's not history. It's just the tales of men. It's just the tales of men talking about another man and their interpretation, what they think the creator is, and, you know, all these things. All the science is, if you say so, you get what I'm saying? or all the theology of the time, which
Do you know
was
what I mean by
1500 years ago.
Oh, Michael, look,
Yeah.
do you know what I mean by science here? I'm not meaning sciences in terms of the actual definition you find about the study of the
You're
physical
talking about the
world.
method.
Like, people may say hair design is a science. You know what I mean? There's a science to it. It's a way of just saying something. You know what I mean? So let me just get back to my point. Yeah. It's a delicate science. Whether you want to call it a science or not, that's up to you, right? I'm just using that word. It's a delicate science, right? Me and myself, I don't class myself, let's say, as a senior student of knowledge. I'm very entry level in terms of Islamic studies, but because I understand the broadness of the Hadith sciences and how delicate it is, I only deal with certain books which I know which are being graded by the majority of the big scholars as Sahih. There's other books out there which have authentic Hadiths in them. But me, on my level, as a I'll say practically a layman who just knows a bit about my deen, just bits and bobs here and there, I hesitate to quote any hadith from any other books from Bukhari and Muslim, even though there's many authentic hadiths from outside of those two books. But because I can't actually authenticate the sources myself, or have a scholar besides me, someone very learned to authenticate it for me, I kind of leave them off. So as I said that, the hadith, the hadith is a very delicate science.
What are you trying to
pick random hadiths out there and just make claims?
No, I'm saying what are you trying to make authentic? Are you saying that the hadiths are to make the Quran authentic, or give you a breakdown of what is in the Quran?
No.
Are you saying no? Hold on 1 second. Are you saying that is a separate thing, in the sense of making you understand from the Sahaba's point of view? You get what I'm saying? How to live. Hold on. How to live. How to pray. What the Prophet did. All of these things. I'm trying to understand.
How I could put it like this is to the best of my abilities, that the hadith is basically a breakdown of the Quran. For example, it's an explanation of the Quran through the Prophet ﷺ's life himself, from his life itself.
And
from his life.
And okay. Is his life in the Quran?
Yeah.
Is his life story in the Quran?
Pardon? No, his life story is not in the Quran.
Okay, so that's exactly what I'm saying. That's exactly what I'm saying. If you want to learn about his life story, you have to read the hadiths.
Yes, you do. Yes,
because as a Muslim, you don't know what the Quran is. Because if it's not about Muhammad, hold on, wait, 1 second. 1 second. 1 second. If it's not about Muhammad, then, and you only learn about Muhammad through hadiths, what is the Quran? That's the question I've been asking, and I know the answer. You
learn about Muhammad through the Quran as well.
Continue.
My brother Michael, man, we gotta move off the subject, man. We're talking 20 minutes. But Gabs, are you there, Gabs?
Yo.
Yeah, remember how we said before the YouTube live stream ends, we need to touch on the brother Zachariah. Remember you mentioned that because it was getting a little bit hot before, but now it calmed down. You remember that?
Oh,
Max,
yeah.
Max, no, not allow it, man. We allowed you to.
We want to talk about
stay away from this.
now,
I want to talk about it. Just pipe down, bro. Hold on. I didn't get to say my perspective openly. You know what I mean? So I want to give my perspective. Yeah. Can you handle it? Are you gonna throw a hissy fit? Can you be a mature adult?
Bro, just carry on, man.
Huh? Okay, good. Now mute your mics. Let me say my point about this guy Zachariah. Yeah. So when I seen the video, this guy Zachariah, the other day, to be honest, I was like, "Whoa, is this Zachariah the same Zachariah that was going hard against Islam, right?" And there's different theories, there's different speculations, right, about why this guy went back, whatever. Clearly, the brother, not to disrespect the brother, but clearly he looks like an unstable guy. You know what I mean? He doesn't look like he's got all his screws tightened, if you get what I'm saying, right? But as an ex-Muslim, just to put this out in public so people know this is the truth already, but they can find it for themselves. Muslims will use every tactic in the book to try to get someone like me, an ex-Muslim, someone like Zachariah, back into their cult, the cult of Islam. They'll use intimidation. They'll use fear mongering. They'll use death threats. They'll use abusive tactics. They'll use blackmailing. They'll use every trick in the book. Because to me, it's clear Islam is not a religion. It's a cult. The reason why I say that is other religions, it's free to come in and go. You can join, you can leave. Islam, on the other hand, it's a mafia. It's you can come, cool, sure, we'll let you come in. But the only way you'll leave is by blood. Just like in the mafia. If I join a mafia right now, a mob, the only way I'm gonna leave is if I'm swimming with the fishes. That's a mob term, meaning they'll kill you and throw you in the ocean. So this brother Zachariah, I can't imagine when they seen this brother at the park, maybe when he's walking home, when he's out and about on the streets, how much bullying and all the tactics they use, intimidation, maybe he's being blackmailed, whatever. Now it is possible that he just converted out of sincerity. It's possible, I'll give it that. But to me personally, yeah, it's highly unlikely. Yeah, you got to be a skeptical. You got to be a free thinker. Some of the indications is the guy came to the park, yeah? The guy was wearing sunglasses, so none of us can see his eyes. And we all know, all of us who are spiritual, the eyes, they say, that proverb is the window to your soul. The eyes alone give off a lot of body language. So when a guy like Zachariah is hiding his eyes, I'm like, whoa, this is very suspicious, Secondly, why is he wearing his 7-day Adventist uniform in the park? I'm expecting him to come to the park with a thobe, the Islamic dress, the kufi, something to that effect, and maybe a Quran in his hand. But the guy looks like exactly how he was when he's a Christian. The only difference is he's wearing sunglasses, so we can't see his eyes, and he's wearing a cap. Then you got that dude, Muhammad Tawheed, that terrorist bully, grabbing him by the neck, like he has his hand on his neck like a pet, and he has this evil demonic smirk.
What do you mean terrorist bully? By the way, I just want to.
Hey, Max, allow it, man.
That's my perspective on him. Hold on.
Can you clarify that? Because
no, you're diverting. I know you're tactful. Hold on, let me finish. After I say my thing, I can clarify. Stop doing that. Listen,
brother.
Just let me finish, dude. Let me finish.
He's insecure because he's not wearing a phobe, because he's wearing a suit, because he's got shades on, because he's got his cap on.
Yeah, it's suspicious.
What's wrong with that? I wear suits, man.
This is dumb.
Yeah, but listen. This guy is a 7-day. Hold on, guys. Stop foaming out the mouth. You're looking silly to the whole world, man. People are saying, listen, hold on, guys. Calm down. Can I say my piece? Hold on, let me finish, and you guys can give your perspectives. Hold on. Calm down. You guys are looking immature. That's why. Yo, that's why you guys.
I want to know what this terrorist.
Yeah, I'll get to that, Ibrahim. Hold on, man. Hold your horses, man. You guys don't throw hissy fists. Calm down. Don't be children, yeah. So I'm looking at the video, yeah. I'm analyzing with my third eye all the different nuances, all the different
get out of here, man.
Yeah, my third eye, yeah. That hurts you, eh? Calm down.
What about the third eye afterwards? I want to get you on the third eye, though.
Yeah, calm down.
I've got a fourth one.
We can go to the boogeyman, the Dajjal. We can go into all that. Hold on.
Can I ask the question, bro?
Hold on, can I just finish, guys? Let me just finish. You guys throw your perspective out. Let me just wrap it up, yeah? So I'm looking at the video, yeah? And on one hand, I'm saying, to be fair, it's possible it could be sincere. But I'm looking at all the red flags, just like I named. He's wearing the suit, the Christian suit. He's wearing sunglasses. He looks very stiff. He looks very uncomfortable. It looks like he's being coerced or pressured to do this video. And then he comes on today, because I came in a little bit late, right? And the guy's rambling like a madman. Like supposedly converted back to the truth. I should see this brother calm and chill. Yeah, alhamdulillah, I'm back in Islam. I'm going to do some good work. This guy, by Allah, the only religion acceptable to Allah is Islam. Alhamdulillah, Bismillah, A'udhu Billah, La Hawla wa La Quwwata Illa Billah. He's just like spewing out every 2 seconds Arabic phrases, looking like a mad nut job, man. Maybe this brother needs to go to asylum, yo. I'm not joking. I'm serious. So that's just my 2 cents. But there's a possibility that this brother got brainwashed or something. I don't know what's going on, but it looks weird. It looks suspicious, and I don't accept it as sincere. That's my 2 cents. Everyone else can chime in.
No, wait. I want to know. I don't know who this brother Muhammad Tawheed is, but I want to know. You said he's a terrorist. Like, can you just expand on that, please?
Yeah. A terrorist is simply someone who terrorizes people. When I see this guy video in the park, he will go up to people, shut them down, insult them, bully them. you can't talk, don't say this. She's trying to regulate as if this is a Sharia country. You know, he's an idiot, right? And for example, I've seen videos where certain Muslims, like random Muslims, will go to talk to Brother Ty or Gary or Sarah, and this guy, Muhammad Ty, like some sort of bodyguard for Allah, he'll like grab them and say, "Oh, don't talk to these guys. They're jahils. You know, don't bother with these guys." Like, this is terrorism, man. This guy is trying to enforce his stupidity on other people. Like, he should be secure enough to know if other Muslims want to talk, let them talk. If they leave, they leave. If they stay in Islam, they stay in Islam. Simple as that.
Okay.
But these are the tactics you Muslims use because you're insecure. You know your cult is shattering, and people are leaving it daily. It's as simple as that, man. People are waking up. The wake up is incredible, man. The wake up. How many Muslims are leaving Islam in the Middle East? The numbers are astounding, skyrocketing, boom.
Alhamdulillah.
Yeah.
A bit earlier, you talked about
Alhamdulillah.
a bit earlier you talked about how you found truth in what's it called, for lack of a better word, the black conscious movement or African philosophy. What did you find in there?
The truth is we're not dealing with fairy tales and lies and nonsensical things. We're dealing with philosophy as in to just like understand things, not as in like you have to believe in this or whatever. This philosophy.
Understand what?
No, just to understand ancient things that the different stories or whatever.
Give me an example. Don't just say stuff or ancient things. Examples. Understand what? What things have you understood?
Like understand.
Yeah, energy. Like nature, science. You know, like the nature.
But can't you understand that from Western philosophy?
I'm not saying Western philosophy is bad. We're not Westerners. We're not European.
Not understood from European philosophy, from European science.
Sorry?
Brothers, one at a time.
Max, let be my turn to cook, man. I've got my oven gloves on. Let me
question. You're getting roasted right now. You're getting roasted right now.
Okay, who are you addressing this to? Who are you talking to,
Max, first of all, I've got my oven gloves on. Allow me.
Yeah, all right.
Go ahead.
We're going to talk about black consciousness with people who know what you're talking about. Let
me ask a question to Max. Okay, Max.
Yeah,
so what have you learned? What have you understood from African philosophy, let's say science, with nature, that you've not understood from let's say European philosophy? Let's say like what you've understood from school, university, college, etc. Shoot.
That gets its understanding from African philosophy.
Yeah, it comes from the Greco-Roman stuff.
Allow it.
Moron.
Brothers, let me answer, brothers. Let me answer this guy. You guys can chip in. Let me answer. Then these brothers Michael and Gabs, can come in after. Basically, what I'm saying is, you want to ask a question? Okay, hold on. Let me just finish this. All right.
Mute your mics, please.
The thing is, Marvin. When you leave an oppressive brainwashing system like the Abrahamic ones, especially Islam being the worst.
Max, answer the question, bro.
Hold on, bro. You didn't even let me finish.
Propaganda.
Not only Islam being the worst Abrahamic religion, but the worst religion on this earth today. Everyone can objectively say that, yeah? The thing is, when you get free from this, then you can see the beauty within nature, the beauty within science, the beauty within philosophy.
Max, answer the question, bro.
I'm answering it. Just let me answer.
Blame this propaganda, man.
You don't have to like my answer, dude.
You don't like the oven, do you? You don't like the oven, do you?
Bro, we could talk for 10 hours. Are you ready? I chased you last time out the Google Hangouts. You started crying with your tail behind your tail was behind your legs, bro. But hold on. The thing is, what I learned basically, ask your question again because you keep rambling like a man. Let the person answer the question. What is it?
I want to say, okay, promise me you're going to answer my question, though.
Do I have to answer the way you like or what? See, you're dictating. This is terrorism, man. This is terrorism. You're dictating answers for
me. Very clear. Please be
terrorism,
very clear.
man. Yeah, man. We're Muslim terrorists. Yeah, go on.
Ask the question.
No, right now I'm terrorizing you, though.
Yeah, you are, because you're trying to dictate my answers, but I don't dictate your answers.
I'll be real with you. Right now I'm terrorizing you. You're forcing the oven, bro. I'm forcing the oven.
Please, let man talk, innit?
Silly, ask your question precisely. Let me answer how I want to answer. Is that fair?
Okay, cool. Listen, cool. What have you learned from African philosophy about nature that you haven't learned from Western philosophy?
Okay.
I think that was too much for him.
Yeah, at the end of the day, it gets everything it knows, or majority of it what it knows, yeah, from Africa itself. That's number one. Number two is, like I said, when you're outside these systems, you learn Listen, stop laughing. You're looking like a madman.
Let me ask somebody else that. Somebody else answer that for him,
You
please.
see, the guy doesn't. You see, you're a clown, dude. Just jump off a bridge, man. Come on, dude. Allahu Akbar, kabloom, man. Come on, you're silly. Other brothers could click over.
Go ask a question, man.
Yeah, go ahead. Kofi. This guy's silly. These Muslims are silly, man. Go ahead.
So anyone, please answer that question for me.
Yo, Mark, it's your time.
It doesn't deserve an answer, man. It's an oxymoron.
Marvin,
You know what I'm saying? Because any type of philosophy in Europe comes from the Greeks. The Greeks learned from the Commetans. Hold on, wait. The Greeks learned from the Commetans, so we can just leave it at that and just move on. That's what he's trying to explain.
Right. So Marvin, I want to ask you a question.
Now I've got oven gloves on. I've got another question.
Nah, bro, it's time for you to get the question. I'm asking you a question.
Bro, I had my time of answering questions, bro. I had like around an hour. Allow me now.
Nah, there's no.
I had about an hour. I don't know if you're there earlier. What I was doing is I was happily, humbly answering questions.
All right,
I think Michael.
All right, then just mute your mic.
I sat down and answered big questions. I want to learn about you lot now.
Bro, just mute your mic.
Marvin, you're going super Saiyan.
Marvin, do that, yeah, and then let Kofi ask his question. Kofi ask his question, and then we'll let you answer all the questions you want, bro. Go on, Kofi.
Go on, Kofi.
Right. My question is, yeah, in Islam, alcohol, murder, is it like adultery? Them things are outlawed, right?
Yes, murder, alcohol, stuff like that. Yeah.
Yeah, but they predate Islam, right? So they already existed before it, yeah?
Yes.
Why wasn't slavery outlawed then, bro?
What, in Islam?
Yeah. Why wasn't it outlawed?
Slavery, first of all, slavery in Islam.
Haram?
Listen, slavery in Islam, there's actually laws of slavery. Yeah.
Yeah, no. Why is it not outlawed? That's what I'm asking you specifically. Why is it not?
Because slavery, when we talk about is slavery in Islam, is not the slavery that we think of guys just grabbing guys from a certain area, throwing in the back of a van or back of a ship, and then force them to do work.
Yeah, I know about the sub-Saharan slave trade.
About slavery. That's the first thing what comes to mind when we think about slavery.
And that's what the Arab Islamic slavery was, exactly that.
No, let me finish my point. Yes.
That's not the question I asked you anyway, bro. You're not even answering the question.
Kofi, let me ask you a question. Kofi, yes, there were Muslims. I'll make it very clear. There were Muslims which did adhere to the laws of Islam and did force people and did treat slaves unjustly.
Not only Muslims, your Prophet Muhammad did himself, man.
So hold up, Max. So what you need to show? So what you need to show me is where does it outlaw that in the Quran then?
How it did it? Because you know how, alhamdulillah, the way the wisdom in this is that where,
bro. You know the thing is, yeah, this straight simple. When you're giving out your commandments, saying, "Yo, don't do this, don't do that, don't kill, man, don't go on with next man." Why are you not saying don't slave, man?
That's a fact.
As I said earlier, just a few minutes
that's it. That's all I wanted to do. Mike, mute. I'm gone.
Okay, cool.
Roasted.
No one's roasted. No one's roasted.
Marvin, you better get your questions out.
You sound like you in the oven, though.
Marvin,
there's no maxes in there.
Right now,
Marvin, man, your period is dripping everywhere, man. Calm down, guys.
I think there's no space for me there, bro.
I got blood all over my apron, bro.
I've got the oven mitts on.
Listen.
That blood's dripping, for real.
I think a question you guys need to ask is, has slavery been abolished? Has slavery been abolished in Islam? Yes or no?
No, the answer is no.
Where's your proof?
The proof. You want to get your tafsirs and your Quran verses.
So you're saying I'm allowed as a Muslim to enslave people? Yes or no?
Of course, you're allowed to enslave non-Muslims. Of course, 100%.
No.
Where's your
evidence? Yes, it is. Stop lying, dude. Don't do taqiyya. I know you know. Don't lie, bro.
Wallahi.
Lie. You want to bring my evidence? You guys want to bring my evidence?
Go shoot.
What are you gonna do when I bring it? Are you gonna start saying, "Oh, out of context"?
Bring me evidence.
You guys gonna start lying, eh?
Max, just bring evidence.
2000.
Okay.
No, Marvin, give me a second, yeah.
Easy work.
No. Listen.
No. You don't want to go in slavery now. You want to change.
Wait, man. Listen. Let me tell you.
You want to change the topic?
No, I'm not changing no topic here. Listen to what I'm saying here. Drinking alcohol was abolished later on. Slavery was abolished later on.
No, it wasn't abolished. It's a lie.
Okay, safe. Now, you show me from the scholars, in 2017, are we allowed to enslave people? Go on.
Okay, let me...
Abolish where? Hold on, wait.
Yeah.
Abolish where?
Nowhere.
That's the
You
question
know
I
what?
want to
Yeah,
ask you. Where was it abolished?
You know the funny thing.
No, wait. Where was it abolished? Where, Ibrahim? Is that the question?
I'll get the reference for you in a bit. Let him prove it
That's
first,
the
yeah?
checkmate. You see, when someone says that, that's the checkmate. Because
It's
he
a
said
lie.
it was abolished,
They're lying, man.
but you should know where it was. If you know that it was abolished, you would definitely know where it was. You have to check the source. But check the source and let me know.
My bro, I can't tell you
Wow.
exactly.
Yeah, check the source and let me know.
Wow.
Check the source and let me
Still
know
going
where.
on right now. Right now.
Yeah, right now.
Right
Funny
now.
thing is, you know the funny thing is about slavery, right?
Wow.
When the Europeans, yeah, my brother might check this out, yeah. When the Europeans, yeah, when they decided to outlaw slavery, right? They went into the Muslim Arab world, right? And they told them, listen, guys, we're abolishing slavery universally, yeah? You know what the Arab Muslims said? They said, no way, it's halal, it's acceptable in our religion, it's in our books, in our Quran, our Prophet did it. The Westerners had to put sanctions and force the Muslims, especially in the Arab world, to stop slavery. And they did it around the 60s and whatever. But you can go right now, Al Jazeera documentaries, which Al Jazeera, I don't know what Muslims are going to say. Yeah, in Yemen, in Libya, in Afghanistan, in Pakistan. It's still happening today, 2017. And the Muslims justify, they say it's in our text, our Prophet had slaves, our Sahaba, whatever, had slaves. So you Muslims are lying. Stop lying. Be a man. Own up and say we
also
accept
still in
slavery.
Sudan and Mauritania as well.
Sudan it's terrible. Sudan right now.
That's why I asked him, where is it abolished? Where was it been
It's
abolished?
lying. They're gonna give us taqiyya. They're gonna lie to us. They think we're stupid. We don't read their books. These Muslims are deceivers, man.
Gabs.
Yeah.
Yo, fam, got a question for you.
Yeah. Go on, bro.
1, 2 seconds. Let me just set my microwave here. Yeah, there's no space in the oven. 1 sec. All right, listen.
God.
Yeah.
I like that.
You don't deal with beliefs, right?
Yeah. I should keep going.
You don't believe. No, let's just it's a little discussion thing. You don't deal with beliefs, right?
What's your point?
Yes or no? You don't deal with beliefs, right?
Beliefs like what? What do you mean? Like, what do you mean I don't deal with beliefs?
What?
What do you mean?
Believe in stuff.
What do you mean believe in stuff? Like what?
Many times that you don't deal with beliefs, you deal with knowing. You just know stuff.
Yeah, or you don't know.
No. So when you say no, basically, it's either I don't know.
You know.
It's either I don't know or no. But when you're saying deal with beliefs, it depends on what you're saying, because you're like saying like,
what is that?
Like, what do you mean?
Well, let's say to certain. Okay, so for example, to certain things about nature.
Yeah.
You believe nature acts in a certain way, or do you know nature acts in a certain way?
You know.
I know that.
You know that, yeah?
Yeah.
I know it acts in loads of different ways, yeah.
Okay, for example, do you believe? Okay, for example, do you guys believe in something similar to, let's say, something similar to the Big Bang, similar to it?
No, belief. You said belief again. You see?
Or no, you know of something similar to the Big Bang.
Similar to the Big Bang. What do you mean?
As in it coming to, as in the universe forming from, let's say, from a single.
Okay. Well, to that, hold on, let me answer that. To that, I will tell you I don't know.
Even sounds funny.
To that, I would tell you I don't know, bro.
I will say
sounds funny. No, we don't. No, sorry. Yeah, we don't.
You don't know that.
I don't know.
Next one.
Gravity.
What about gravity?
People don't know.
What you say?
What about gravity?
Do you know it or you don't know it?
It's testable.
Yeah, that's a fact.
No, but I'm saying, is it a fact?
That's just the power of observation. So hold on 1 sec. An apple dropping from a tree.
You're fighting for the microwave, right? Cool. So
okay. Go.
So gravity is a fact, and you know this, right?
It's testable.
No,
it's testable.
You all want the microwave? All right, cool. Michael,
yeah, go on.
Do you know this?
Huh? Marvin, what's your question, bro? Because
it doesn't make sense. I mean, you're in European science and theology.
Marvin, you're firing shots all over the place.
Do you know gravity?
Hoping it hits someone, man. Stick to one point.
It's like
you're doing a machine gun. You're doing a machine gun tactic, man.
Bro,
come on.
Any thought or the concept or conceptualizing of any of what you're talking about came from Africa. So.
Look, listen.
What's your point, Marvin? What's your point? Come on, bro.
My point is this, Gabs. Do you know? Just ask a question. Do you know or don't know about gravity?
Come on.
What? Okay, now hold on.
My point will follow.
Now, hold on, Marvin. Of all the questions you have in your mind that you could ask me,
I know.
Listen,
you want to know whether I know. Hold on.
Like,
You want to know about
Gravity.
gravity.
My point will follow. Just
brother. Bro, you're asking me about
If I throw a stone
Gabs,
at your head,
listen, you guys,
I'm being for real.
That's gravity.
kitchen.
No, I'm being for real.
My point will follow. Listen, my point will follow. Answer the question.
Marvin, I'm going to ask you a question, but I'm just trying to make you understand something. Of all the questions you could have asked me,
now you're dancing.
You want to know? Hold on, wait. You want to know what I know on the gravity? Now, what is me answering this question?
Listen, you get my point. You get my point eventually. Just play along with me.
But the simple answer is testable. So what do you want me to do now?
Listen.
I'm sorry, bro.
Listen. Gab, just play along with me. You may think I'm being stupid. Play along with me, yeah? All right, cool. Do you know it or you don't know it? Gravity.
So, but the question is, when you're saying, do I know it? So the thing is, I have to go into is what do they say gravity is? So what is gravity? What do they say gravity is?
What the common understanding of gravity is?
Yeah, what's that? What's that?
Must calm down. What
goes
up must calm down.
Bro, you're not asking my question. What is the consensus that you just said? What is it?
You're flipping it back. You're flipping the question back.
Yeah,
I'm asking you.
Okay, think like this. Is there such thing as gravity? There's such thing as gravity. Gabs,
wait. This is how we know, bro.
Gabs, is there such thing as gravity?
Hold on, wait. Even as a child, to pick up a stone and throw it in the air and it land on the ground, we've already done the experiment.
Mike, you're laughing.
That there's gravity.
Mike, you're laughing. There's other theories.
No,
there's other theories about gravity.
No, listen.
That's how you don't know too much
what we're dealing with.
Apart from gravity.
This is basic.
But listen,
so why mention gravity like is something? A concept, a word that came in the early 1900s or 1800s.
Marvin, the whole thing, this whole gravity thing, yeah, I don't understand it. But my point is, yeah, if it's not gravity, you tell me what is it that's keeping us grounded today?
No, listen, I'm not trying to say it's not there. I'm asking you a question. I'm trying to understand I'm trying to understand the thought pattern. So I'm asking you a question right now.
Yeah, what? So what? Is gravity there? Do I know there's gravity? Yeah, I know there's gravity because I've seen, yeah.
Break it down to me.
Break what down to you?
Break down gravity. You say you know it. Break it down to a T scientifically to me.
How do they tell me? Hold on. You're saying, are you doing it for real? Break it down to a T to you. Do I have to science on gravity?
No, you see,
Marvin,
again, you're caught in a European paradigm. You're coming from a European perspective and bringing it to bringing it to the people who originally gave you the concept. Via Greeks and Romans and people who philosophized and thought about these things.
Let me speak.
When they had time.
Let me speak. Let me explain myself. The reason why I say this is this. If you can't break something down to a T, even though it's regarded as a scientific fact, if you can't break it down to a T, all you do is simply believe in it based on.
No, you're lying. Experimentation. Straight away.
Let me have my point.
Now you can jump up and down. That's it.
Come on, let me speak, man.
Experiment done. Come on. You're making it complicated like Muslims do.
Let me speak,
bro,
man.
Can you build a car?
Let me speak. Can I speak?
Build a car, bro?
Gravity of all things. It's not complicated, bro.
Can you build a car and break it down?
Hey, come, let me speak. I'll let you guys speak, man.
Can you build a car and break it down? If not, then you believe cars exist.
Exactly.
That's different. Gravity, you can't observe gravity where you could absorb a car. So that's weak. That's very weak.
Why can't you observe gravity? You can't observe it with your eyes. You can observe it with other things.
But cars different.
We can't see. What is wind? Come on, man. Just listen, it, man. It's just ridiculous.
I know it's childlike conversation.
You know what? You guys don't let me explain myself.
Basic, man. You would have learned this in the village.
Listen.
This is before we started. And how
this is a kindergarten
building pyramids?
Are you guys gonna let me explain myself or smoke me? Get you guys to mute your mics. Please mute your mics. Mute your mics. All right. I've got 3 more minutes left on here with you guys. Now is Marvin. Go ahead, explain yourself real quickly on it.
So yeah, so basically what I'm trying to say is that with gravity, for example, yeah, if you can't break it, if you can't break it down to a T, you simply you simply believe in it based on the claims of, let's say, scientific professionals, let's say people, scientists. Yeah, you believe in it based on their credentials, or you simply believe in it because you just understand maybe the slight gist of it, and you just believe that gravity exists. You know what I mean? The reason why I use gravity as example, some people probably not believe, Kalam seems like somebody who probably know this, is that gravity is not the only theory out there for objects of mass dropping down to what we call the ground. There's other theories out there. Gravity, yes, is the most common, is the most strongest theory going to the consensus. You know what I mean? What I'm trying to say to you is that what many people out there just believe in gravity. They can't break down to a T. They can't oppose it either. They just say see stuff like, oh, for an apple in the air, it comes back down. That means gravity exists. No, it's a bit more technical than that. So what my point is basically, Gabs, you said that you know of gravity. If you can't break it down scientifically, you don't know of it. You just believe in it. Either one, you understand the gist of it, or two, you're just believing in the scientists with the scientists based on their credentials. That's it.
Okay, so basically, if you cannot
That's my last point.
demonstrate a claim that you propose to know, you basically do not know the claim. You only simply accept or believe the claim. What you're saying, basically.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
Okay, excellent. Now, you guys, did you want to say anything on that before I close it down?
Yeah, I'm saying that it's a nonsensical claim because you can actually practice the experiment by just picking up a stone and throwing it and seeing it where it lands. And with the power of observation, by looking at how nature, you know, like things grow on a tree and then they drop to the ground, and then later on something else comes from the ground and that's going to drop to, listen, you can jump up and down in the air to see if it's, you know, viable. But I don't understand what point he's trying to make.
That shows that you don't understand gravity properly, because you just think it's as simple as just throwing something in the air or something falling down means it's gravity. That's not a proper explanation of what gravity is.
Can you fly? Can you fly? Can you fly?
I'll post up some.
I'm asking the question. Can you fly? Yes or no?
Gravity. It's not as simple as that, bro. There's a
Michael.
I think you're trying to overcomplicate it. That's what I'm trying to say to you, bro.
But Michael, don't you see what he's doing? Since he can't prove his Allah and his flying horse Buraq, he's going to very weak. Wait, hold on. You're going to very weak, stupid arguments. Do we exist? Do we have a mind? Do we have a brain? You can't see it. What's gravity? Are we on a spinning earth? You know, come on. This is such baseless, stupid arguments because you can't defend your nonsense, man. Just prove to us your nonsense. Stop going to these. Do we exist? Are we in a matrix?
Get in the oven, bro. Go,
all right.
Go get back in the oven.
I'm saying
I fried you, I cooked you, and I served you, my dude.
I'm saying the African mystery systems, you know, that would be encompassed in it.
All right. So, anyways, let me close down the show. Let me just thank everybody for actually participating, being a part of this particular show tonight. Family members, I see you. Simon Kai, I see you in the chat. And Sierra as well. Free worldwide. Sarah Garvey up in the building. You know, all sorts. Everybody's in the building. Bigger Valley as well, brother Abdul. You know, there's a lot of us that's in here today. Unfortunately, this is a 6-hour-long show. This is a 6-hour-long show, and it's going to be an absolute hell to actually break this up into different parts. What's good, mem, on the chero? So yeah, it's going to be an absolute hell to break this up, but I'm going to try anyway. So I'm going to thank everybody for you know, being part of this great show, and we're going to continue this off air. If you would like to join us, hopefully if somebody jumps off, here is the link for you to join us. And yeah, this is it, man. This is it. This is well overdue. Let's continue after hours, you know. Man says continue after hours. 6 hours is 6 hours in already. But anyways, family, I'm signing out. Peace and love to you all. and I'll see you on the other side. Hotep.